again as well for RPI. He played in both games last weekend on the road at Colgate and Cornell. RPI breakout starts near side of their own zone. Long stretch pass all the way down the ice. Will be icing once again. This time the pass was directed towards DeVito from Jared Wilson, but well off the mark. Another icing against RPI early.
Not sure if that wasn't a premature icing call, as Timmy DeVito was first into the zone and had to step on the defenseman to get to those dots. Should have been enough to wave the icing call off, but instead we our third face-off of the game with 19:01 left in the first period. No score.
Face-off here, one back to the point, shot coming, deflects wide off the stick of Bubella, in fact, to the far wall. DeVito has his man tied up back to the point. File a shot right on. That one deflects out of play. Kasdorf thought he had it for a second, but it went up into the netting. Well, another quick stoppage. It's been minute 10 of Brown Bears doing what they want to do here.
And RPI's got to be careful here, because last weekend they were only able to skate away with 1 point. And one major reason for that was that in both games they got down early. Brown with a couple of good opportunities on that last sequence to take the early 1-0 lead.
Face-off one back again. Here's File at the point. Wrist shot coming. Skips through traffic off the back of the net. Karams to the near side corner. Now to the circle. Back to File. Wrister. Blocker saved by Kasdorf. Saw that one all the way. Mike Prapaves, the sophomore, plays it to the far wall. Carried on behind by Charlie Corcoran. Fed back towards File. Keeping it in at the point there. It was Willem. He trickles one wide of goal. Chris Bradley for RPI trying to clear it out near side. Shot again in wide of the RPI net. Shots are 2-0 early on here in favor of Brown. And now the Bears look to change. The Engineers have a chance to break out. It's Bradley high in the air to the Brown line. Glove down there and swept aside by Brady Shue. Now it's played behind the goal. Miller takes a hit. Tangles with Tyler Wood, and now it's moved out to center ice. Cross ice feed broken up by Reno, trying to work it in the zone. Prescott loose in the slot. It's poked down further and wide of goal. That time on the try by Andrew Doan. Kept it at the point. No, he did not. Tyler Wood called just offside there. Must have brought that puck over the blue line. Too close to the wall for us to see. Not quite, actually a little over 2 minutes into the game. No score here.
And Jason Kasdorf's had multiple chances in the first 2 minutes of this game to be looking behind him, kind of have your heart jump out of your chest a little bit, bouncing pucks in front of him. RPI's got to do a better job locking down on defense.
To the near corner, Nick Lappin behind, hands it off there for Marchant. Marchant, one of the top freshmen in all of ECAC hockey, 25 points on the season. There's a one-timer, that one's blocked and carried out by Wilson. On for Bourbonnais. Wilson had his stick knocked away. Now it's just going to be a hand pass called here. Jared Wilson pretty adamant that his stick was slashed out of his hand or something along those lines. He gets his stick back, but we just have a hand pass here called against RPI.
Very animated display by the RPI sophomore out of Calgary, Alberta there. He seemed very intent on drawing a penalty on that play, but we will skate 5 aside here with 17:31 left in the first period. Still no score, and the face-off coming up in the RPI end.
Shots are 3-0 Brown as the tie-up goes to the near side corner. Naclario jumps on it there, trying to work it around on his backhand to the far circle. Ran out of room, takes a hit there from Reno, but does work it down low for Marchant. Marchant carries it on top of the circle, walking in, fakes the slapper, still moving in front. Saved by Kasdorf, still loose, and it goes behind the goal. That left pad along the ice kept the Bears off the board there as they stay on the attack. Far side point, shot by Lappin, blocked there. Manny jumps on it and backhands it out of the zone. It'll be corralled by McCardle. He moves it up to the blue line, gets it back from Naclario. Turns into a dump in as the pass was off the mark. Here is Jaron Wilson, trying to work it up the boards near side for Bourbonnais. It gets by everybody all the way down. It will not be icing as it's recovered by Techmeyer, I beg your pardon. This is shot all the way down by Brown. They wave off the icing early on as Bradley tries to play it around to the far side. First one to it, Kenny Gillespie has his stick lifted. It's kept in by Bird. Bird, a draft choice of the Columbus Blue Jackets of the NHL. Trying to jump on this puck here. It's in the corner. Poked on, one-handed by Prapaves, kept in by the Bears. Spun around far side, that was Prizebeck, and now here's Prapaves again. Nifty handoff for Fulton, the Engineers are out to center. Rodriguez tried to tip it into the zone, broken up by Techmeyer, back comes Brown the other way. Bird kicks it to himself, in the slot, a shot! This goes wide, picked up by Bradley. in the circle. Bears changing. That'll allow the Engineers to skate it to center. Bradley all the way to the red line, flips one in on Ernst. First time he's seen the puck today. Easy turn away from the blue line. Shot back into the RPI zone. First one there is Moore. He'll shoot it near side, looking for Liljegren. Lets it run to the point. Shot coming by Wood. Easy stop again for Kasdorf. He saw that one all the way, but they are mounting. 5 now in the game. Back the other way come the Engineers into the near corner. Liljegren trying to step to the check of Wood. Left it for Bubella. He gets sandwiched and interfered with, but not enough for a call. Back come the Bears the other way. Big time hit behind the play, but moving into the zone, Willman. Drop pass there. Centering pass broken up. Good defense by the freshman out of Duluth, Minnesota, Mears Moore. Now Bubella out of Baska, Bystrica, Slovakia, ahead for Liljegren. Walking in a centering pass, and maybe one too many as the pass accidentally found Brady's shoe on the back check. And now the Bears have a chance to go back the other way, 2-on-3. They'll elect to just dump it in and try to get a change. Kasdorf stops it here. We're 5 minutes into the first period. No score. Shot 6-1 Brown. Kept in at the line. Yes, they say. Thought Prescott was out of the zone. We play on. In on goal. Kasdorf made the stop. That puck, if it did stay inside the RPI zone, was just by a fraction of an inch. And it turned into a chance for the Bears again.
Well, Brown's dominance in the first 5 minutes of this game can be really chalked up to two things: winning faceoffs and just being far more physical than the Engineers, especially when they've got control of the puck and winning battles in the corners. They're really just bumping the Engineers away when they have the opportunity to get in there. They don't even really have to forecheck that much because they're not losing control. And those two aspects in Brown's game that RPI's got to turn around is winning faceoffs and then coming up to the challenge of being physical in the defensive zone.
Fans continue to file in to the Houston Fieldhouse. Class is still in session for another week, next week as well. So expecting students to come support the club. Here's a puck kick towards goal. A chance to move in. Surrounded there was Middleton. Never got a shot away. It's carried all the way to the far wall. Wrist shot coming. Saved by Kasdorf, and he holds on. That was Gottlieb with the attempt. He just has the 2 goals of his 20 points, and probably from opportunities like that, trying to draw a rebound. Kasdorf wasn't having it there.
We've seen a lot of feast or famine from the Engineers in the face-off circle this season, and right now it's a considerable amount of famine. 8-1 is the shot total in favor of the Brown Bears. A lot of that is just because Brown's winning face-offs and holding the zone.
Face-offs are 7-0 Brown as Bourbonnais looks to clear it out of the zone. May be able to give the Engineers a win there. We'll see what they do. It's repped back into the RPI zone on the dump in. Kasdorf stops it, plays it behind for Reno. Wasn't expecting the pass. Centered out in front, broken up by Bourbonnais. Circle, shot, blocked again by Riley Bourbonnais. And the Engineers move it to center quickly. Here's Nanny with speed into the offensive zone. Nanny driving the net, centering pass, looking for Bourbonnais. He was upended and carried behind the goal. Lappin picks it up there, looking to clear far side. Tied up was Reno. Puck out to center. That's as dangerous as the Engineers have looked in the first 6 minutes of this game. Creating an opportunity. Bourbonnais was tied up on his way to the net. Fans wanted a call, didn't get it. Here comes Bird back the other way for Brown. On for Preisbeck. Far side circle. Blocker stopped by Kasdorf, goes to the wall. Bourbonnais slaps it towards the point, kept in by Wood. Near point, shot by Shoe. Sticked away by Kasdorf. Still loose in front. And Kasdorf will cover. And now getting mauled in front of the goal. Zach Preisbeck, the junior from Niagara on the Lake, Ontario. He is feeling it for standing so close to the RPI netminder.
So far, it's a little bit of bend but don't break for the Engineers. There's elements that they need to work on. Face-offs and physical play. The physical play stepped up a little bit the last couple of sequences for the Engineers. They're starting to push back a little bit. That bodes well for them. They went the other way with it after muscling a Brown player off the puck. The shots are still 10-1 in favor of Brown with 13:41 left in the first period. We still have no score.
Draw here to the left of Kasdorf. One back to the point. Wood, a shot, takes a deflection off a shin pad, goes wide to the far corner. DeVito helping it up the boards. On for Milos Bubella, moving into the offensive zone, trying to make a move. Steps around one check. Centering pass, that was broken up high in the air, comes down at the near side point, and now Bird wants to skate the other way. One-on-one with Prapavesis. Bird in, looking to center. That was broken up twice by Prapavesis. Then with the foot to deny the centering pass. Around to the far wall it goes. Jimmy DeVito, having a great season after missing the first half due to academic issues, is on a tear here in the second. 10 points for him. One-handed into the zone by Bubella after making a nifty move through neutral ice, but the Engineers just want to change out of it. Here come the Bears now to center. Shot near side, nearly picked off by Rodriguez. Glove down by McCardle in his own zone. Rodriguez pestering him into the skates of Fulton. Kicks it away, and now controlled by Brown. Brink back and now to the wall, far side, back to their own end to recoup. As it's Gottlieb, back again, far side boards. Willman into the RPI zone. Fulton has his man tied up. Hampton coming to help out. Loose to the blue line. McCardle some room. Shot blocked by Rodriguez. Loose in his equipment. Carried on out by Gillespie. Kenny Gillespie leading the rush the other way. Has Fulton crashing the net. Drop pass for Moore. Shot it again! Here's Moore from a tight angle. That was below the dot, but he ripped it top right corner. What a shot by the freshman, his second goal of the year.
I think RPI fans were a little bit disappointed not to see Kenny Gillespie bring that one farther into the zone. He doesn't know exactly what he was doing by just dropping that one off for the trailing Mears Moore. Moore is an offensive-minded defenseman. He has no problem skating that one a little bit farther into the zone. Actually, I think Gillespie may have just lost the handle on that.
I think he just lost it.
Instead of dropping it off, but it looked good in the end because Moore picks it up on the trailer and just brings it in. Boy, that one was a real narrow space to put it through, but he managed to get it in for a 1-0 lead for the Engineers.
Have a story to tell you about Moore. We'll get to that in a second. RPI still in the attack. Shot by Bourbonnais. Second try blocked again as the Engineers walked right back into the offensive zone, trying to ride that momentum. As we are not going to get a whistle on an icing call. Thought we were. Engineers kind of half lackadaisical to the puck there. They didn't need to be. They had a plenty sizable lead on the Brown players. I thought they were going to get ice. They didn't. But now they work it back the other direction. Lappin picks off a puck in the defensive zone, quickly head the other way, marching into the RPI zone, watched by Prapavesas, poke to the corner. Tie up along the wall, now behind Kasdorf. Prapavesas has Marchand pinned against the wall. As it's worked to the corner. Far side, hit, check. Came free to Marchand at the point, turns and wrists one over the top of the net. It'll come around to the near boards, pinching in Wood. Tyler Wood drops it off in the corner. Naclario, to the point. Shot by Shu, blocked by the shin pad of Bourbonnais. Out to center by Bourbonnais, wave off the icing on the deflection. Engineers will be allowed to change here. 11:10 to go first period. It's 1-0 RPI and an even strength goal by Mears Moore. Now Lafferty in the RPI zone, drop pass there. Good stick tie up by Wood, and back come the Engineers, it's Miller. Mark Miller, the senior from Messina, New York, dumps it in. He's 1-on-3, but he'll get to the puck first. Far side circle, Orval had it skip through him, and it'll be moved on out to center ice by the Bears. Sam Lafferty, sophomore from Holidayburg, Pennsylvania, looks to center. That one's broken up. Now Lafferty's tied up. Puck played behind the RPI goal by the Engineers, helped to the wall by Hampton. On further, behind, loose at the side of the net, poked at by Kasdorf, and it was thrown wide of goal. And a chance there out of nothing from Alex Brink. And now another shot and a save on a try by Wellman. Brown picking up where it left off before the RPI goal with some more shots as they work it to the circle. Shot coming. That one's blocked and swatted all the way down. This will be icing on the Engineers as Moore was just trying to relieve pressure, doing all he could. Swatted it all the way down. We have an icing on RPI.
Scoring on RPI's first goal this evening, an even strength goal at 7:37 of the first period. That goal was scored by freshman Mears Moore. The Duluth, Minnesota native now has 2 goals on the season. The assists are credited to Kenny Gillespie with the primary assist and Alex Rodriguez with the secondary.
10:14 on the clock, first period, 1-0 RPI. Face-off in the Engineers zone. And now getting tossed from the face-off dot is Mark Miller. Wood takes over to go up against Zach Preisbeck. Or is it Naclario? It is Naclario, that top Brown line with a tired RPI group. We'll see if they're able to make anything of it. Puck played to the corner. Hampton has Marchand tied up. Up the wall for Miller and a chance to skate to center. Can he gain the red line? Yes, he can. He'll dump it in. RPI able to get that change quickly. Behind the net. Move to the far side. It's Techmeyer. Up the boards and played back by the freshman Marchand behind the goal, but Orval's waiting. Gets it back there from Babella. Orval kicks it to himself behind the cage, trying to get free. Stolen away by Lappin and moved to center. Big time hit thrown. Penalty coming up here. It's going to go on Liljegren, I believe. And now Liljegren gets into a cross-checking bout with File. But I believe Victor Liljegren's going to go off here. And now Wilson's getting into it with File. So what we saw, I believe, was Liljegren, I think, retaliating for his buddy getting hit behind the play. Orval, he retaliated, and he's the one that's going to draw the penalty here.
Yeah, that was really not a well-timed hit. RPI might get lucky here to get a retaliation to the retaliation by File, but he's skating off, so it looks like it's going to be a Brown power play, although the referees are conferring. There was potential penalties and the after effects on File.
Some pushing and shoving, right.
And then Wilson decided he wanted to basically come all the way back down the ice to mix it up with File a bit.
Right.
So I think the discussion now is whether they're going to give a 5-minute major to Liljegren, because it was a pretty rough hit. I believe it was from behind, too. It was along the near board, so it's difficult for us to see it in full. But it is going to be a power play for Brown, who certainly doesn't need the help right now since they've been controlling much of play. We're going to see this again. Maybe just a glancing blow. It was definitely to the head. Not a hit from behind, but a hit to the head. So the overriding question now is whether they decide to make this a 5-minute power play for Brown or just
very long discussion on it.
The mill 2-minute variety.
So while they discuss that, tell you 2-minute penalty. Discussion was not too long. It was not up against the boards. Or it was. It was a little off the wall.
Near the boards.
Right.
It wasn't a hit from behind. It wasn't
a boarding call.
Right, but it was certainly a roughing call, and they're calling it roughing contact to the head. So that's very fair. I'd say it's about what they're calling it indirect contact. I guess that's why what the difference is if it's indirect it's 2, if it's a direct contact to the head it's 5.
Okay.
So RPI to the penalty kill this evening. They are 106 for 124 this season on the kill, 85.5%.
Engineers, that's the better of the two special teams, of course, much better than the power play. But this Brown power play comes in at 17.5%. So nothing to be scoffed at here, and you can see why with the likes of Niclario, Lappin, and Marchant. They move it around to the near side corner, back to the point for McArdle. Now to the far side. Getting it back to the point. Here's McArdle again from Gottlieb. McArdle back to Gottlieb, center blue line. Far side, Lappin. He scored 2 goals in quick succession to start the third period last time he was here, helping Brown to open up a 3-1 lead. Now at the side of the net, centering pass broken up, shot by Marchant, saved by Kasdorf, cleared away by Bradley off the glass, staying in the zone. Far side circle to the near side for Gottlieb, fakes the shot, pulls it back, fed back to the far side circle, Lappin walking in, Rister was blocked by Bradley. Third in the nation in block shots is Chris Bradley, adding to his total there as he closes in on 100 on the season. Far side circle, Niclario wearing the C for the Bears. Centering pass looking for Gottlieb on the back door, broken up nicely by Prapavesis, make that Miller down low. Far side circle now. Lappin centered, intercepted by Miller, and he fired it down. Good penalty killing by the Engineers. 40 seconds to go on the Liljegren roughing call. Indirect contact to the head. 8:15 to go in the first period. Back come the Bears out of their own zone. Flipping it in far side wall. Here's Willman to the net. Centering pass. The side of the cage goes behind. Willman will jump on it there. Knocked down by Reno. Slapped to the half boards, and now here's Wilson, a chance to clear. Played it up for Bourbonnais. Lost it in his skates. And now DeVito can't clear either. Corcoran spinning around at the far wall. 15 seconds to go on the power play. File to Corcoran. Fanned on the pass. Tied up and knocked down by Reno. Behind the net, Wilson trying to knock it free. Here's Corcoran again at the far boards. Poked loose to the point. File keeps it in. Near side, Lafferty. Lafferty walking into the circle. On the backhand, a shot. Saved by Kasdorf. Played behind the goal. Bird jumps on it there. Out of the box. The Engineers are back to even. Puck behind the RPI goal. Played to the near side boards. Wilson will get there first. He'll fire it ahead. On for Bourbonnais. Chipping on for DeVito. He takes a hit against the boards by Middleton. Turned back around by Brown. Doan up the wall, stolen away. Bourbonnais, circle, shot, glove save by Ernst. To the corner now. Centering all the way out of the zone. That was Schrader trying to work it back to the point. Skipped by everybody. Chris Bradley picks it up. Using the net as a screen, nearly lost it to Prescott, but the Engineers jump back on it. Now it's a 4-on-2 for RPI. Schrader far side, drop pass off the skate of Prapavesis. Can the Bears hurry the other way? Doan into the zone. At the circle. Shot off the back of the net. Flying into the cage comes the Brown skater. That was the defenseman's shoe. A little bit out of place, and he ended up knocking into the net. Knocking it off its mooring. The faceoff will come outside the zone.
Terrible luck for the RPI Engineers right there as they had a 4-on-2 coming into the zone with some speed. And the pass just ends up glancing off of Prapavesis' skate. And the Engineers were then maybe unlucky there, but lucky that Phil Hampton was back to play one-on-one hockey, because if Prapavesis hadn't been able to turn around as quickly as he had, it would have been a 4-on-1 the other way for Brown. That's how quickly that puck bounced into the neutral zone with numbers for the Bears.
Face-off one here, shot in by Brown. Kasdorf hands it off for Wilson to the far side. It's Reno. Up the boards for DeVito, cross-ice feed, skips by Liljegren. He'll try and jump on it here. Picked up by Babella in the circle. Backhand try, blocked by Gottlieb. Still Babella into the corner now. DeVito gets run into by Naclario. Helping out along the boards is Liljegren, but it's swatted out to center. Pass behind Lappin. Picked up by Liljegren. He'll play it back to Wilson. Couple of sophomores connecting there. Now the junior, Reno, out of Edina, Minnesota, gave it away at the line. Walking in a shot, saved by Kasdorf. A good 2.5 steps outside the crease. Made that save, cutting down the angle on Max Willman, the sophomore from Barnstable, Mass.
Brown has really reacted well to the goal that they've given up, and a lot of times you see goals going against the flow of play, especially when it's against a flow that's really as dominant as Brown has been here in the first 15 minutes of the first period or so. Sometimes you see that kind of urgency kind of slip away because you've got that dominance that really hasn't gone anywhere and you're trailing, but Brown's done a good job of staying on it.
Into the zone come the Bears, moving it in. It's Brink, Alex Brink, a freshman from Hamilton, New York. To the near side corner, back to the point. Techmeyer, a drive off the post from the far side. That was File, who ripped that one. Hit off the outside of the post. Back come the Engineers, ripped on goal from center, or the top of the circle, I should say, by Gillespie. And the Engineers look to cycle into the corner. File gets run into by Gillespie. Fed along further by Techmeyer. To the far side wall, scooped high in the air out to center ice, bouncing puck to the RPI line. Prapaves is fanned on the first attempt. Now he's tied up by Brink. Brink centered off the side of the net, never got to the intended target, but the Bears stay on it. Wood from the point. Toe save maybe by Kasdorf, could have been headed wide anyway. Rodriguez trying to jab at it, back to the point for Wood. His shot was blocked. To the far corner it goes, poked on further by Bird. Picked up by the Engineers, they can't clear the zone. Shot by Shu, blocked by Fulton. Another try, rings over the top. Shot off the side of the cage, Bird denied. Fed back out in front, but nobody home. Back to the point, out to center. Engineers dodging bullets here. It's 1-0 Engineers, but the Bears are threatening. 5:50 left in the first. Both teams look to get a change. Shot in from center by Doan. Wrapping around to the near side boards. Prapavesis on further. Chipped off the boards by Jake Wood. And now controlled by McCardle. Back to center they come. Prescott into the RPI zone. Having a time of it. You fire it in. Picked up there by Wood. Jake Wood to center ice. Fed off the body of McCardle. Moves on further into the zone. Wood finds it in the near corner. Trying to stick handle away from Middleton. Wood at the half boards. Trying to play it across. Good stick by McCardle, who stands at 6'1", 195 out of Roscoe, Illinois. Knocked it away from the smaller Jake Wood and shot in by Reno. First one to it. Wood along the near side. He'll tangle with Gottlieb this time. Picked up by Techmeyer. On further, Naclario near side for Lappin. Lappin, a centering pass all the way through, knocked away by Reno. Back comes Schrader now, 2-on-2 to the line, trying to join the play. Nanny. Schrader in. Drop pass Nanny, trying to walk out in front. Loose. And a centering pass was broken up as Nanny went behind the cage. To the far side circle they go. Back to center now, it's Tommy Marchand on the move. Stolen away by Hampton. He'll fire it near side into the zone for Nanny. Nanny to the circle, to the slot, centering pass, trying to find Hampton, who was crashing the back door. That was knocked away. Chipped off the glass and out to center. Mearsmore picks it up there. The goal scorer for RPI will wrap it right back in. Takes a funny hop off the glass. Picked up by Babella along the near wall. Sent it all the way through, looking for Bourbonnais. He hadn't gotten there yet. File now behind his own goal. Gets run into by DeVito. Puck around to the near boards. Out to the circle, knocked free. To the near corner they go once more. Tyler Wood around to the far side. File has some time to look up ice, and he will. Backhand to center. That one hit Babella, trickling into the RPI zone far side. Parker Reno there for the Engineers. Behind the cage, he'll shoot it near side for Liljegren. Liljegren to center ice for Babella. He'll backhand it into the zone right onto Shu. Looks to turn away from DeVito. Indirect pass off the backboard for Tyler Wood and near side for Brink. Cross ice feed, good connection, center ice they come. Max Willman into the zone. Drop pass there. Mishandling it was Shu, but he stays on the puck and gets run into by Babella. They both go down behind the cage. Prapavesis now controls for RPI. Liljegren carrying to center, trying to walk around McCardle. He's knocked down. Puck to the near corner. Bird around to the far side. Shu's going to try and get there. Pinching in. Prapavesis gets it And there's some extracurriculars behind the play with McArdle and Liljegren have started things up once more. Now a hit again by Liljegren, puck to center, controlled there by Bradley. Centered off a feed to the line, shot back out to center by the Bears. Prapavesas at his own blue line now. Shoots it near side of his own zone, gets it back from Bradley. Prapavesas, the sophomore from Oakville, Ontario, shoots it in. Jake Wood to pick it up behind the goal, taps it on further. Jesper Orval near corner. Looks to play it right back down low for Jake Wood. Wood to the far circle. Trying to feed it back to Moore, who was open, but it was intercepted. And they can't clear. Picked up Moore, a shot blocked in the circle. Picked up there by the Bears. Clearing effort, gets it out, Gottlieb. And now helped down all the way down by Zach Preisbeck. 1:32 to go. In a first period that's opened up since the Engineers have scored. They lead 1-0, tipped into the zone by Bourbonnais. Back to pick it up behind the goal is File for the Bears. Far side circle, knocked off the puck by Riley Bourbonnais. Behind for Schrader. Schrader looking to center. Back to the point for Wilson. Wilson holding, shooting! Saved by Ernst on the blocker. That one got all the way through. Nanny was looking to get a deflection there. And now it's moved to center ice and a chance to break 2-on-1. Lappin with Marchand. Lappin in, a shot. Toe save, rebound, put wide! Marchand had the whole net and he missed it. Back to center come the Engineers. 2-on-3 into the zone is Bourbonnais. He gets tripped up, goes down with the linesman. Puck around to the far wall. Marchand slaps it out to center. Skips off of Prapavesas and all the way down. Stopped by Kasdorf. 46 seconds to go in the first period. Back into the zone comes DeVito to the near corner. Making moves. Dumped along the wall. Fans up in arms that there's nothing being called here as DeVito was dropped behind the net. We play on. DeVito back to his feet quickly. Near side boards Brink. Center ice connection. Here's Corcoran to the RPI line. He'll spin back towards center. Stops at the red line, scoops it in the air wide of Kasdorf. First one to it will be Brink. Tried to play it off the back of the net to himself, stolen away. Prapavesas, he's knocked down, picked up Liljegren. He'll scoop it in the air, near side into the zone. DeVito trying to work it in. DeVito with 10 seconds to go in the period. He gets dropped again, and now we get a penalty. Tie up in the corner, to the point for Moore. A drive goes wide, 3 seconds to go. Hampton far side, looking to shoot, deflects wide of goal, and we will have a penalty in a full 2-minute one at that to start the second, as they called for it and called for it and called for it, and the fans finally got what they were looking for.
Both teams are cruising for a bruise, and they're late in the period. Liljegren needs to cool it with McArdle for sure. That 2-minute penalty he got was probably the hockey equivalent of a yellow card. So he probably won't get the benefit of the doubt the next time. Brown was playing with fire a little bit earlier as Jimmy DeVito was hit from behind along the end boards. A dangerous hit that could have easily been a penalty, went uncalled. Then moments later, another hit. I believe that was DeVito again taking that hit.
It was.
Over in the corner. That was maybe a bridge too far for the officials. The trailing referee called this one. Referees are still on the ice. Maybe they're discussing whether this is going to be a
That's interesting. Yeah.
5-minute penalty.
From the look of it, it looked like 2 for sure, but this one was against the boards, and you don't know what the call is going to be. So we'll have to wait on that. Tom, we'll stick around for it, and we'll get to our first admission interview, which is going to be Brendan Whittet, the 7th-year head coach of the Brown Bears.
Well, I thought Brown did a good, like I mentioned, I thought Brown did a good job after giving up the goal to, for the most part, stay in their lane. They needed to keep doing what they were doing well, which was playing good physical hockey. They didn't have a lot of face-offs to win after that, but because we got a lot of action there right at the end of the period. But there was, at the very least, this sense that Brown was still doing a decent enough job pushing forward to get something accomplished. But I felt like late in the period, RPI did a solid job of kind of turning the tables a little bit, getting the ice to tilt back in their direction. They had a couple of good opportunities late in that period to make this a 2-0 game, which, especially when you consider the way that, especially the first 15 minutes of the period went, it's a good thing for the Engineers to be up in this game. To be up 2-0 would be even better. But I think the way it went, I think you'll take what you get if you're RPI right now.
It's a 2-minute boarding call on Josh McArdle. That is the word. RPI will get a full 2 minutes of power play time in the second because they had the puck for the rest of the first period after the penalty went up.
And that's probably fair. And I'd say that's probably very similar. And Liljegren and McArdle have been going at it quite frequently in the first period. So let's kind of just, to put it in soccer terms, both these gentlemen now have a yellow card. They really need to be on their best behavior for the rest of this game.
With that, we'll step aside. I had a chance to talk with Brendan Whitted, who is the Brown head coach, before tonight's game. We'll run that during our first intermission. Your score, once again, after 1 is RPI 1 and Brown nothing in the Game 1 of the ECAC Hockey first round action. You're listening to RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Great Scott, Price Chopper, AFSCO Fence, Yankee Trails, Red Front Pizza, Tri-City Reynolds, Dunkin' Donuts, Toyota, Ben and Jerry's, Warren W. Fane, Auto Tax, and Tri-City Valley Cats, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey.
Our machines help identify early stages of cancer, and it's something that we're extremely proud of.
You see someone who's saved because of this technology, you know the things that you do in your life. Man,
If I did have an opportunity to meet a cancer survivor, I'm sure I could take something positive away from it.
My name is Jocelyn, and I'm a cancer survivor. I had cancer. I have no evidence of disease now. I would love to meet the people that make machines. I had such an amazing group of doctors and nurses who would just make such a complete picture of why I'm sitting here today.
from the moment we walked in the front door, just to see me not as a cancer patient, but as a person that had been helped by their work, I was just blown away by this community. I feel like one of the luckiest guys in the world.
Don't forget, purchase your 50/50 tickets at the table by the Engineers Pride area. Proceeds benefit the RPI cheerleaders. They thank you for your support. In other ECAC first round action tonight, all after one period of play, it's Princeton 1, Clarkson 0. In Hanover, New Hampshire, Dartmouth 1, Colgate 0. And after one period of play in Ithaca, Union 0, Cornell 0.
If you like the excitement and fast action hockey, there is no better place in the world to see than Lake Placid, New York, the winter sports capital of the world. Lake Placid is your host for the 2016 ECAC Men's Hockey Championship, who will win the Fake White Block Cup. Join us at the Olympic Center in the 1980 Brooks Arena to find out. Ticketing, lodging, and arena information is available at whiteplacelakeplasid.com. The 2016 ECAC Men's Hockey Championship in Lake Placid. Don't miss it.
Future leaders.
Science, engineering, arts, humanities,
Out of the box thinking that generates truly innovative technologies also drive science.
this experience beyond just creating great technicians, engineers, and scientists.
I felt that for a while. You got two change the world.
RPI Hockey would like to thank the Rensselaer Alumni Association, Nigro Companies, Patterson, Sampson, Ginsburg and Griffin Law Firm, Sodexo, Subway, the Hilton Garden Inn, Macaluso Wealth Management, National Grid Foundation, the Recovery Sports Grill, E. Stewart Jones, Hacker and Murphy, Stanley Steamer, CBTA, Stewart Shops, Rensselaer Honda, Domino's Pizza, Fryhoffers, Turner Construction, and Saratoga Eagle Sales and Service, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey.
Football and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web, which you browse to WRPI.org. And you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as long as WRPI is broadcasting. We provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. WRPI Sports seeking current RPI students to make live calls of RPI athletic events such as this one. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for RPI baseball. If you have interest, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu.
Plenty of baseball games this year to get on the air.
Much baseball.
And it's a good way to get started, too, by the way. That's where I did. Tom, I have to tell my quick story here about Mears Moore.
Just go ahead.
Thursday, at the end of practice, it's Mears and Mike Prapavesis and Jared Wilson all taking shots at goal with Victor Liljegren looking to deflect them on Kasdorf to both, practice on both sides of things there. I'm watching this for a minute or two. Mears Moore rips a shot that Liljegren doesn't get any of, but it goes right into the top corner. As soon as the puck goes in, he skates off the ice. It's the end of practice, so they're just finishing up. He skates off the ice, comes over to me and says, "I'll take one of those this weekend." And that's why I laughed a little when he scored that goal. I said, "Yeah, I'll take one of those too, Mears," and then he skated right off and went off to the locker room.
I don't know if that qualifies as art imitating life. I don't know if that's.
I don't know what that is, but it was the same net in the same top right corner. So I don't take it for what you will.
Vince Lombardi stuff.
You
can't do it in the game if you haven't done it in practice. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Obviously, there was. I can't tell if Ernst was. I don't think he was screened much. I think he wasn't expecting that type of shot from where Moore was. He was below the dot, along the wall almost, and it went right into the corner. Usually goalies have that covered. Ernst did not at that time. Anyway, it's 1-0 RPI, despite being outshot 17-5, as we get ready for the second period of play. Power play for 2 minutes, as it is Josh McCardle sitting in the box for the Bears, but right off the draw, Naclerio trying to walk in shorthanded, swatted away by Prapavesis along the boards and picked up by Riley Bourbonnais. RPI's power play has not been good this year. 11.2% as it slapped around behind. Naclerio around to the near corner, File to the line, past Wilson and all the way down. Kasdorf with it. He'll play it off for Wilson. Brown trying to get a change on the penalty kill. Ahead for Babella. Stick handling into the zone. Went down to his knees. Stayed on the puck for a second as it's flipped into the near side corner now. DeVito tied up. Knocked away. Make it to Orval, rather. Back to the point. Prapavesis keeps it in. Down low, Bourbonnais. Walking in, turning, shooting, and he missed it high and wide. Nearly his patented walkout from the corner to the circle. We haven't seen it much, where he walks along from the right-hand boards to the middle of the ice. He's a left-hand shot and just rips it. Seemed to mesmerize teams at times with that move. There wasn't much to it. That time, he kind of caught the toe of his stick and it flipped high and wide. Back to center it goes. Bouncing puck controlled by the Engineers. It's Phil Hampton. Ahead for Victor Liljegren. Out of Stockholm, Sweden, on for Jimmy DeVito. He'll flip it behind the Brown goal around to the far side corner. 48 seconds remain on the power play. DeVito to the far side circle. Liljegren stops with it there. Centering pass. One-timer Nanny. Half band on it. Ernst made the toe save. Nanny down low. DeVito trying to give it back, clearing effort. Cannot be knocked out of the air by Hampton, and all the way down the ice it goes. Stopped there by Kasdorf. He paddles it out to center quickly. Trying to catch the Bears, changing here, shorthanded. 27 seconds to go in the power play. DeVito filters it down low. Pops in the air. Around to the far side corner to Liljegren. Pokes it back to the point. Now near side point, Bradley. Hands it off far side, Mears more. He'll slow things up now. One-timer Bradley on a try near side, skipping off the back of the net. It's played around to the far side. Clearing effort, knocked down. 8 seconds to go in the power play. Shot goes just wide from Liljegren. Taking a hit behind the play. Here's Tyler Wood for Brown. Trying to walk it out in front. It was knocked away from Nanny. Out of the box comes McCardle, and the Bears are back to even. Engineers doing a good job possessing the puck on the power play. Had a couple of shots. Those shots went wide. Here's Wood now for RPI, steering it on for Schrader at the line. Offside was Wood, and that was touched across the line by Schrader. We get a whistle. 17:43 to play second period, 1-0 RPI.
Face-offs in the first period were 10 wins for Brown against 4 for the Engineers, and fairly good end of the period, I suppose, if you're RPI, considering that Brown won the first 8 of the opening period.
Face off here in the neutral zone. Bears win it. It's Gottlieb across for McCardle. Tipped into the zone by Corcoran. Bouncing puck in the far circle, trying to make a move there was Willman. Poked away nicely by Prapavessis. He's had a good game with the defensive stick so far. Willman lets it run. Far side Corcoran. Some space on the far side of the RPI zone. Back to the point. McCardle near point. Gottlieb pulling it back. Looks for a lane. Blocked by Schrader. Gottlieb again. Centering pass. Loose in front, swatted again, wide of goal as it was Gottlieb circling the net, found the puck. It was bouncing on him a bit, and they score! Shot from the circle goes in. I believe it's Corcoran, unless it was deflected. We're tied at 1 regardless.
It's more of Brown doing what they were doing early in the first period, controlling the puck. They won the face-off, brought it down, controlled the zone. The Bears were unlucky not to score about 10 seconds earlier. Gottlieb needed a little more oomph on that backhander because he had pretty much the entire net to shoot at and gave Kasdorf plenty of time to get back over there, but Brown was able to control the puck even after that shot. And basically just kept shooting, which is all they did during the first period. Bouncing puck gets past Kasdorf, and we're square once more. It's 1-1 with 17 minutes left in the second period.
Engineers move on into the zone. DeVito taking a hit there from Shu, but the Engineers do get it deep. Tyler Wood around to the far side, swatted away, loose in front. Liljegren fanned on a bouncing puck, and it's cleared out to center, tipped off the stick of Nanny. Kasdorf slows it up, side of the cage, wrapped around behind near side for Parker Reno. Ahead for Bubella. On, connecting to Jared Wilson, jumping into the attack. Wilson circle, walking in, turning, feeding it in front, knocked away. Right back to Bubella. A shot goes wide. Liljegren again on the center. Slaps off a skate, and it's picked up by Milos Bubella. Pried away from him and cleared all the way down by Marchand, who just stays in his own zone. He realized what he did. Didn't bother to chase. It's going to be icing on the Bears.
Scoring on Brown's first goal. Not right. It's listed as a shorthanded goal, but it is an even strength goal by Max Willman at 2:57 of the second period. That is Willman's third goal of the season. Assists have yet to be posted.
Draw here in the Bears zone. One straight back. Tyler Wood around to the far side, scooped in the air off the glass past Rodriguez. Phil Hampton, the only one in the RPI zone, plays it right back up the wall. Rodriguez on further for Mears Moore. Far side, shot coming, deflects in the air, out of play. We'll have a stoppage again. It's 16:06 on the clock, second period, tie game 1-1.
Been mentioning it for much of the last part of the season here, and especially in that first period. RPI just wasn't doing a good job winning faceoffs. They were crushed in the faceoff circle in the first period, and here early in the second period, they're kind of falling behind as well.
Shot trickles wide of the cage off the draw. Engineers on the attack here. To the point, intercepted. Prescott for Brown off the near side wall. Phil Hampton sweeps it towards the point, kept in there. Doan on his backhand, turning, spins it back to the point again. File. Far side, Techmeyer, shot blocked by Rodriguez. Has to get back up. He gets a piece of it with the stick on the swipe. And it's kept in the zone by Brown. Prescott in the corner, trying to walk away from Moore. Prescott on the wraparound, sends it in front. Comes all the way through to the point. where Techmeyer throws it far side, picked off. Gillespie breaking. Can Hampton find him? No! Just missed him. The wave off the icing. Now Gillespie knocks the stick out of Techmeyer's hand. Now he's playing without a stick. Not sure Gillespie realized it as he backed off. Now the puck is cleared to center as the Bears had help. Shot back in. This will be icing on RPI here. And better that we get a whistle and sort things out. 15-17 on the clock in the second. Brown has come back to tie things at 1 here in the period.
Assists on the goal by Willman are to sophomore Charlie Corcoran, native of New Canaan, Connecticut. And the secondary assist goes to freshman Matt Gottlieb, who had just put that puck wide, backhanding onto an open net.
Puck picked up by Bradley, shoots it off the boards to center. Bear needs to touch up. He didn't. Now he does. Engineers have the puck. Prapavesis, far side for Bradley. Up ahead, trying to find Miller breaking. Gottlieb sweeps it away. Miller steers it wildly wide of the net, but he got it deep. Around to the near side wall it goes. Nice feed out for Bradley. Wrist shot coming. That one skips wide of the goal. Jake Wood off the far boards, down low for Miller. Kicked by Orval, trying to walk away from McCardle. That doesn't work. Picked up again by Jesper Orval, but he lost it out to center. Preisbeck, far side, dump it in. Bears chase it around to the near corner. Prapavesis has his man tied up. Orval looking to help out. Puck comes loose. Miller flips it out to center. Orval got dumped again, but Prapavesis has a loose puck in his own zone. Far side for Bradley. Wrists it along near side. Jake Wood just off the bench. Moves it right across the line. Flips one wide, a goal. Blockered away anyway by Ernst to the far side. Orval can't keep it in, but he does keep the puck. Nifty move to stick handle free. Scoops it in the air. Picked up by Shu. Behind the net it goes. Far side connection. Bears to center, avoiding the hit Corcoran, but he lost the puck in the process. Nanny scoops it off the far wall. Poked along by Babella. Penalty coming up here on Wood. Shot coming in front. Tipped over the top by Nanny. We get a touch of the puck as it was Wilson looking to find Nanny in front. He got a piece of it, but just ramped it a little bit too high. Either way, the Engineers are going on the power play as Tyler Wood just hauled down Riley Bourbonnais, trying to gain in the offensive zone.
Yeah, you gotta be very clear. This is Tyler Wood taking the penalty, not Jake Wood. So the penalty on Wood, in this case, going in RPI's favor, something that is not overly frequent when you're talking about an RPI game. But Tyler Wood goes off for tripping with 13:50 left in the second period. The Engineers back to the power play. They're 0 for 1, but the first power play looked pretty decent. They held the zone pretty well. They got 1 or 2 shots as well.
Power play time. Defensive zone face-off win for the Bears. Played aerially all the way down the ice. And Kasdorf with some pressure will hand it off for Prapavesis. Here's Milos Bubella. Shoots it far side behind Bourbonnais all the way down. This will be icing on RPI as now File gets bumped by Bourbonnais, and that things will continue to escalate as the series moves along, I assure you.
Well, there's one thing that's been true of Brown since practically time immemorial is that they're going to play a physical game. They're going to hit you, and they're going to try and bump you off the puck. And you've got two teams willing to play physical games like that with the high stakes of being in the playoffs. You can rest assured that there's going to be some tempers boiling over at some point in this series, no matter how closely the referees are calling it.
Prapavesis near side. Bobella kicks it to himself. He'll shoot it into the far corner from the near side center ice. Wrap it around to the near boards. Prapavesis can't quite corral it, and it's back out to center. And all the way down, in fact, Kasdorf stops a rolling puck in the near corner, plays it behind far side for Wilson. Wilson up the boards. Touched on for Bourbonnais. Fed near side Bobella into the zone. Carries it on further into the near corner. Milos Bobella trying to help it back to the point. It's broken up. Kept in, however, by Prapavesis. Bobella down low around behind for Riley Bourbonnais. Minute 4 to go on the RPI power play. It's second of the game. Bourbonnais now steers it to the near point. Prapavesis ran out of room at the blue line. Filters it near side Orval. Drop pass at the point for Mears Moore. Moore to the top of the circle. Far side Orval walking in. Wrist shot over the top of the net. Caroms around to the near side point. Kept in by Mears Moore trying to glove it, but Prapavesis couldn't. Played around to the far boards. And now Orval keeps it in at the far side. Picked up by Bourbonnais. He's being pressured there. Played it back to the point for Moore. Mears Moore near side Prapavesis. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Near side half wall from Orval, and now Bourbonnais trying to feed it across through bodies. Picked up by Orval. Scooped it down low. Prapavesis waiting in the circle. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Centering pass out in front. And a couple of players had tries at it but couldn't get a stick on it. kept in at the far point. Down low behind the net, Orval looking to work. Fed in front, trying to find Babella, and it was knocked away. Good defensive sticks by the Bears. They're able to fire it down. Engineers getting very close to the net, but can't get that final touch. Out of the box comes Tyler Wood, and both teams are back to even here. Tipped along by Liljegren, poked free, and now carried on by Prizebeck. Prizebeck in the near corner of the RPI zone gets bumped off the play by Hampton. Dug along behind the cage. Chris Bradley, the senior captain from Williamsville, New York, moves it quickly for Nanny. He'll scoop it into the far corner. Victor Liljegren there absorbs a hit from Techmeyer. To the boards now, Bird overskated, takes a hit from Wilson, who had him lined up from a couple steps away. Schrader now to center, tipped on by Wilson. Good play into the zone for Liljegren. Drop past Wilson, fed down low, caroms around to the near corner. Being ridden there was Schrader, but the puck is cleared. Nanny stops in front of his own bench. Bird got dumped, flipped into the zone by Prescott. Bears want to change. You are listening to RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. 10:50 left, second period. 1-1 RPI and Brown. Game one of this best-of-3 series. Centering pass for Jake Wood. Couldn't quite corral it. Throw it right back in front, but nobody home. Prapavessis again carrying. Drop pass. Bradley at the blue line. A shot goes wide. Big-time screen in front of Ernst, but the Engineers couldn't hit the net there. Loose, far circle. Now a chance for the Bears to pick it up, and it's Corcoran gaining speed to center. Charlie Corcoran shoots it in. Played around behind. Corcoran gets it back far side. He's cut off by Prapavessis. Corcoran jumps back on it. Played it through some skates. Poked at by Miller, or the Bears might have had a chance there, as it was Willman trying to jump in. Played near side to Vito. Drops it off neutral zone. Jake Wood back for DeVito near side. Jimmy DeVito into the zone. Wrist shot coming. Save. Rebound. Kicks to the far side circle. And carried back out by Brown. 4-on-3 to the line. Into the zone. Drop pass. Kicked at by Hampton. He broke up a centering try there. Now Gottlieb at the near side. Nearly stolen away by DeVito. Can't clear the zone. Knocked down by Hampton. He'll move it to center ice on the carry. Near side. Wood is banged up here. He's slow to get back to the bench as the Bears try to counter. Pass is intercepted by Mearsmore. He'll shoot it off the wall. Kept in by Marchant. He fires wide a goal. Kasdorf helps it to the far corner with his goalie stick. And now picked up far point. Fed near side. Nobody there. The file was still coming off the bench. McCardle didn't realize it. Now Bourbonnais trying to force his way into the zone. Far side corner. Below the net, they tangle. Liljegren trying to work it back to the point. Broken up that time by Marchant. Outlet pass too far out in front of the intended target. It's going to be a race for the puck, and it will be icing on the Bears as Doan and Wilson go hard into the back wall. And now Wilson gives an extra shove to Andrew Doan, and we get a stoppage in play. 9:13 on the clock in the second. We're tied 1-1.
There's some more pushing and shoving down there, and I think that a lot of that has to do with Jake Wood getting his bell rung right near the RPI bench. He was kind of skating with his head down. Looked like he was trying to move towards the bench, but didn't realize he was already right in the middle of the bench while he was moving back down towards the Brown end with his head basically between his legs. So he's back up onto the bench now. We'll have to see when the next time we see him out on the ice is. Hopefully he's okay after that hit.
He was able to get off on his own accord, which is a good sign. Face-off in the Bears zone here. We're over halfway through the game. It's a 1-1 score. Shots are 19-8 Bears. Wilson trickles one wide of goal. Took a couple deflections on his way through. Ends up in the near corner. Kenny Gillespie, the sophomore winger out of Morrisville, North Carolina, battles along in the near corner. Played back to the point. Kept in neatly by Wilson through his own legs. Thrown one on goal. Loose in the slot. And now a chance to break. Knocked out of the air by Reno. It was Doan trying to sneak behind the defense. And now Fulton, a wild shot from above the circles, goes wide. Kept in by Gillespie. Carried on further to center ice comes Brown. Davey Middleton. He'll move it across the line and then shoot it in. Prapavessis picks it up there. Former Toronto Patriot finds Rodriguez. Gets sideswiped but stays on the puck. Far side, it's going to be Gillespie to dump it in. Now Shue. Lafferty over skates. He'll now shoot it high off the glass. Glove down, Prapavessis in the zone. Moving himself out of the zone. It's picked up by Nanny. That puck hit a Brown stick, or else it would have been a hand pass on RPI. Loose to center. Corralled there. Moving ahead is Bird. Tyler Bird from Andover, Mass. Fires way wide from the far circle. Kept in by Shue. Lafferty taps it down low. Prizebeck is beaten to the puck by Bradley. Prapavesis now off the glass. Glove down by Lafferty at the point. Centering pass. His man was fading out of the zone, and now it's moved up ahead. Kicked at by Nanny, although he didn't know it. And now Willman. He gets hit along the boards by Prapavesis, separated from the puck, and now Bradley's tied up. Willman comes to help out, but the puck's out at center. Bourbonnais shoots it off the wall, trying to get to it himself. Poke to center, drop pass there. One-timer, Schrader blocked by the defense. Schrader back to the point now. Near side, Hampton. Rister into the center. Good deflection by Nanny. Steered it right on Ernst, but he was ready for it. And got those pads together to keep it out. Puck back the other way now. Hampton will track it down behind the RPI goal. Help to the far side of the zone. A little bit of room to look up ice for Mears Moore. He shoots it back to Hampton, neutral zone. On for Orval, offside. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a little tricky. Moore kind of stopped it right at the blue line, but it didn't look like Orval was in the zone yet after he dumped it off to him. So I'm not so sure about that offsides call, but nonetheless, faceoff comes right outside of the Brown zone with 7:10 left in the second period. We are tied at 1.
Face-off, one back, Gottlieb. He'll go D to McCardle. Back to Gottlieb in his own end. He'll try the near side, RPI pressuring. Stopped up in front of the bench. Reno on for DeVito. Tipped it into the Bears zone again. And now McCardle down the middle. McClario on for Lappin. He's stood up at the line by Wilson. Stolen away Reno. On for Babella. Milos Babella on the carry. Tries near side. DeVito into the zone. Fed back across in front looking for the deflection. Didn't get it from Babella. Big time hit in the far corner. Off his skates, Liljegren was lifted, but he gets back up and shoots it around to the near side corner. Parker Reno pinching in to keep it alive in the near side. He tangles now with Gottlieb. Parker Reno still on the puck. He moves it all the way to the far corner. Still Reno. Behind for DeVito. Now Liljegren behind the net, looking for a centering pass. Over to DeVito. Near side circle, takes a shot, saved by Ernst, and he holds on. Maybe not a bad idea there, and now extra shove on Wilson from Lappin. And that's not what you'd expect from your senior leadership. Little extra shove there. Wilson wasn't doing anything in particular.
Wide open shot by DeVito was basically just daring Ernst to drop it because there were a couple of engineers in the area that were ready to pounce on it if he had. Ernst just vacuums that right into his body, holds on for the whistle with 6:15 left in the second period, 1-1 between RPI and Brown. Shots are evening up a little bit, but not to any major stretch. It's now 19-10 in favor of the Bears.
I was going to say, DeVito shoot that puck, it might even get the totals up a little bit more than where they were. 10 shots in the game for RPI after 5 in the first. At least that's on the upward trend for RPI. Draw on the far side of the Bears zone, and another face-off win for the visitors. They'll shoot it out near side and all the way down. This will be icing, at least Jason Kasdorf thinks it will be, and it will. We'll have a stoppage. Draws now 10-4 Brown. That's wrong.
Shots in this period are 5-2 in favor of the Engineers, so with just 6:05 left, only a total of 7 shots between these two teams. But RPI really with the lion's share of the opportunities in this period, but Brown with the only goal.
17-9 face-offs. And I was wrong about that a moment ago. 17-9 in favor of Brown. Out to center, bouncing puck into the RPI zone. Could be dangerous. Prapavesis trying to slap it away. Played off the back of the net. Mark Miller will jump on it for RPI and shoot it near side. On for Jesper Orval, trying to kick it to himself. Stops in the neutral zone. Teammates have to hold up. Finds a wide open Prapavesis moving in. He'll take a shot that goes wide. Rister there, and a tricky one from Mike Prapavesis, who has 3 goals and 13 assists on the year. Top scoring blue liner for RPI during the regular year. Tie up at center, good play by Fulton, knock it free. Alex Rodriguez, who had a great weekend on the road at Colgate and Cornell, has been a little bit quiet here in this game, but he can provide energy when the Engineers need it.
RPI only has 5 shots on goal in this period and 10 for the entire game, but they are taking shots in this period. It's not like 5 is indicative of, well, they haven't had the puck very frequently. They're just shooting it high and wide with more frequency, which is problematic because those aren't in danger of going in.
Never.
So RPI's just got to do a better job of getting them on net now.
While I was talking about Rodriguez, the Bears ice the puck, so the faceoff will come to our right, deep in Brown territory. Played around for Fulton, who works it below the goal line. Rodriguez, centering pass on the blind backhand, intercepted by Techmeyer. RPI keeps it in and deep. Pinching in more over skates, bouncing puck to center. Hampton has it there, but he's the lone man back. He'll drop it off neatly for Fulton. Travis Fulton, the senior from Oakville, Ontario, former Vaughan Viper, gets it deep. Prescott will play it around, dangerously out in front. Moore lining up a shot. That one trickles wide. A sliding block was made by Lafferty. Nearly a terrible giveaway for the Bears. Now another try by Fulton on the wraparound is poked to center. Moore back to pick it up. Wilson, he'll shoot it right back in. He'll carry him behind the goal. Rodriguez trying to get there first and does before he's run into by File. Rodriguez trying to find the puck, trying to walk out in front with it. It's knocked away again and now picked up by Prescott. Joe Prescott to center. Hasn't had a great shift. He turned the puck over moments ago, right in front of the RPI goal. That one trickles in on Ernst. Steered away and now chipped back to center. RPI has the Bears on their heels a bit as now Wilson fires from center. Ernst gloves it but can't hold. Another clearing effort. Prescott at his own blue line. Off the far wall. Bourbonnais is tied up with Willman. Picked up by Corcoran. He's trying to make moves on Wilson in the far corner. Now Willman there. Poked away for a second, but it goes right to Corcoran. He's tied up by Reno. Willman tried to feed it through both of them. That was picked off by Schrader. His indirect pass off the wall, a little bit heavy. And now Bourbonnais had to wait for it, but he does clear to center. Nanny forcing his way onto the puck as he spun away. Could be a hold on Wood. We're not going to see it. As he had Nanny wrapped up, he was trying to escape. Puck played to the RPI blue line, bouncing there, knocked out to center by Bradley. One of the Bears needed to touch up. That was Brink. That allowed the Engineers to take over. Near side in front of the RPI bench. DeVito had it knocked away from him. Niclario bumped from behind. Puck to the RPI line, poked to center. No, it stays in the zone. Thought we'd at least get a safe sign from the linesman on the near side. Or an okay to go, but no. They just let it play. No offside, and we play on. Schrader to center ice, connects to Liljegren. Victor Liljegren into the zone, trying to feed it on further for DeVito. Took a deflection off a defenseman's stick to the far corner. 3 minutes to go in the second period. 1-1 RPI and Brown. Wraparound try right out in front. DeVito couldn't get a stick on it. Babella now out of the far corner, trying to walk away from Lappin. Knocked away by Niclario, kept in Liljegren. Working it down low. McCardle near side, off the wall for Marchant. And now Lappin feeds it far side, some room for Gottlieb to move through the neutral zone. Gottlieb in, centering pass, broken up by Reno. He takes a whack up high from Lappin, and the puck is cleared all the way down the ice in the air. Not enough on it for icing. Liljegren the first one to it anyway. Picked up Babella. Babella stick handling along the near side corner. Knocked away, but picked up Liljegren. Moore, far point Wilson. Gets it back from Mearsmore. A one-timer and a save by Ernst, and he holds on.
Well, the RPI's two best full shots on goal this period have been ones that Ernst has seen. And he was able to corral both of those. That one right there off of the stick of Mearsmore, the one earlier by Jimmy DeVito. Those are probably his two strongest saves because, generally speaking, so far in this game, we haven't seen a lot of real strong saves by Tim Ernst. He's had some shots go off of his glove, and we've seen some where it's just been blockered basically right in front of him. So his rebound control has been a little suspect with those two big shots here in this second period he's been able to scoop up.
Well, RPI does have 8 shots in the period. They're out shooting the Bears 8-2 in the frame, which is a positive sign, although the Bears are the only ones who have scored. Go figure. Now we get a bit of a delay here. One of our referees, that is Brad LeBlanc. Robert St. Lawrence. I can mix those names if I want, although St. Lawrence has been on just about every RPI game I can remember this year, so surprised I blundered that one. Anyway, the puck out to center, picked up by Mearsmore. He'll feed it on further for Miller, who can't control it. Wide of Ernst, it goes back to play it. Around to the near corner, File there, backhanding it up the boards. Skips on by. Good poke check by Miller. Now Orval's in a tussle at the half boards. Miller to help out. Under 2 minutes left in the second. Puck finally separated from the wall. And now a steal in front. Orval trying to jam it home. Still loose, no whistle. Side of the cage. Referee still sees the puck, so we play on. His underneath bodies. Now we get a whistle. As I think everybody looked for one there. Stoppage in play with 1:36 left.
At that point, you just start
mad scramble side of the net.
That part, you just start throwing your stick into the scrum and seeing if something comes out. Lay there, lay on the puck if you're a defender. Decent opportunity by Jesper Orval right there. the second period has been largely dominated by the Engineers. Similar in style to the way the first period was dominated by Brown, yet RPI scored the only goal in the first period, and so far here in the second period, the only goal belongs to Brown.
Face off in the zone. Nanny, wrist shot coming. Sabres. Rebound. Schrader. And that one's covered by the junior netminder from Vernon, British Columbia.
And that was an example right there of what I was talking about just a little bit earlier, where Ernst has been a little bit suspect sometimes with those shots. That's why RPI really doesn't lose much by taking a wide open shot, seeing if they can create. That one bounced right in front. Zach Schrader was the first one to it, and Ernst was the first one to jump on it. And Schrader wasn't able to put it onto his stick to get the shot off.
Riley Bourbonnais back in there, the top face-off man on the Engineers, the only one over 50% on the season. Engineers have not done a good job in that department. They're 46% on the year. Number has gotten better. It was down below 44% at one point early in the year. RPI has improved in the department, but there's a big hit is thrown by Bourbonnais. Brown wins the defensive zone draw, swatted to center after it was gloved down by Bradley. Bourbonnais, the one bright spot there. Here is DeVito, drops it off for Riley Bourbonnais, carrying in to the slot. Bourbonnais trying to feed it back to DeVito. Comes all the way through to Marchand, who shoots it high off the glass, bouncing puck at the line, swatted out of the zone by Prapavessis. We've seen the Bears do that a number of times. Just try to swat the puck in the air, try to beat the Engineers at the line to a loose puck. Schrader at the near wall, down low for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais carrying it, top of the circle, drops it off Prapavessis. Prapavessis gets free to the slot. Prapavessis walking in a shot, he scores! Mike Prapavessis, you can't give him that much time and space. You can't give anyone that much time and space. He walked right in between the hash marks and buries it, his fourth of the season.
Once you see Mike Prapavessis standing by himself in the slot with space to move and time to shoot, at that point, I was kind of just sitting there waiting for the goal to happen, because that's, like you said, Perry, you can't give anyone that much time and space, but especially a guy like Mike Prapavessis, who's able to skate around with an awful lot of ease anyway between the face-off dots. He's got the stick handling skills, he's got the shot, and he's got a goal that puts RPI up 2-1.
2-1 Engineers. And it comes at a big time, not only for the fans who get some kind of promotional benefit, but the Engineers who take a 2-1 lead.
Free tacos.
Bouncing puck at center, Shu goes cross ice with it. As it's shot all the way down, this will be icing on Brown. And with 19 seconds left, this RPI crowd, which has wanted something to cheer about in this game, they have it now and a chance to go into the locker room up a goal.
Well, besides the free tacos, it's a very timely goal for the Engineers, because the second goal in this game, the way the second period was playing out, was going to be big. It's kind of a turner, and that Brown's now got to have the initiative here with 19 seconds left and into the third period, where they go down 1-0 in this series. So that goal could be a turning point overall.
Overall, we'll see. We just have 14 seconds left in the period. Bouncing puck at center ice. Bradley swats it right back the other way. Glove down by Shu. He gets run into, but plays it on for Willman. Chipping it in deep. 5 seconds to go in the period. What will Bradley do with it? He'll fire it far side. Knocked down there. Picked up Liljegren. That'll do it for the second. A late goal for Mike Prapavessis. Gives RPI a 2-1 lead after 2 periods. What a goal it was. As he made a nice move on his man. The forward that was supposed to be on him at the point. He gave him a little shimmy at the top of the circle. And by that point, either someone else has to come pick him up, because or else he's unmarked, I guess you could say, all the way into the front of the net.
I think if nothing else, that goal should make for some excitement for RPI fans, not just for the end of the period, not just for this game or this series, but we're starting to see a little bit more of that from Mike Prapavessis. He came in as a freshman last year, an NHL draft pick of the Dallas Stars. There was a lot of talk about how he was a great puck-moving defenseman who had lots of agility, who had lots of versatility up at the blue line. Last year, we saw him take plenty of shots, but didn't really get them to cash in that frequently. This year, especially late in the season this year, we've seen Mike Prapavessis getting to spots where he can shoot with some ease, and right there, I thought we saw the kind of Mike Prapavessis that RPI fans were expecting to see when he arrived. And I'm not saying that he was, not as advertised before. There is to some extent an adjustment period when you get into college hockey, especially for freshmen. Not all freshmen are going to do that kind of thing right away, but now that he's gotten himself to the point where he's very comfortable with his role in college hockey on this team, we're probably going to be able to see a lot more plays like that with Mike Prapavessis, who is arguably already as a sophomore the best two-way defenseman on this team, and the Engineers can hopefully look forward to 2 more seasons of this type of play from him.
He is so hard to kind of manage, I think, defensively for teams. It's kind of mesmerizing just watching him. It's almost like he can go any direction at any time. And when you're on skates, that's tough to defend because he can go left, right, front, back, and you don't know where he's going. Very deceptive on his skates, and I think that's what we've seen him do a number of times, even last year. He'll kind of just maneuver his way around the zone almost wherever he wants. And when he is able to harness that more and more, as you said, Tom, he's going to be more and more dangerous.
We've got our term for that, his expeditions.
His expeditions,
maybe we can make that a... can we institute his name into that? Something like the rap position.
We can work on that.
We'll have to work the English out on that one. But scoring on RPI's second goal, an even strength goal at 19:16 of the second period. Mike Prapavessis with his 4th goal of the season. The assists going to Riley Bourbonnais and Zach Schrader. Makes it 2-1 Engineers after 2 periods. We'll be right back with the second intermission. You're listening to live coverage of Engineers hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Remember, the Engineers scored that final minute of the second period. Take your ticket to the Modes at RPI in Troy sometime in the next week. Redeem your ticket for a free taco. Tickets available at the Houston Fieldhouse box office or calling 272-6262. Buck Girls tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Mary. You already know about the Ring Up in Ice Cream, but did you know Steel Shops are for easy food morning, noon, and night? Coffee and a pastry, double nuts and a shake, chili, subs, and it's new now with an entrees made right in the store's kitchen. Whether it's stocking in for lunch or to take home dinner like these delicious 75-cent meatballs. Steel Shops really does make my life easier and less stressful with easy food all day long.
I'd like to introduce my good friend, former RPI 1982 captain, Dino Macaluso. He's now the president and senior financial advisor at Macaluso Wealth Management right here in Albany.
Thanks, Seth. As a former captain of the RPI hockey team and a proud member of the RPI athletic family, I'm proud to call the Capital Region my home. For the past 30 years, I've raised my family here and built my business around providing sound financial advice to my clients. My firm is fiercely independent and highly dedicated to earning the trust and confidence of our clients every day. And I welcome the opportunity to show you how we can protect and enhance your wealth today. Please call me for a free consultation. And let's go Red!
Hi, I'm Coach Seth Acker, and I'm encouraging you with Jones, reminding you to stay safe on the ice this winter. If you are injured in a car accident, call us. Free consultation, good advice. One night of good help.
And we welcome you back inside the Houston Fieldhouse here on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, as we get set to bring you the third period of action. Tonight's ECAC first round, game 1 between RPI and Brown. Your score after 2 periods of play is RPI 2 and Brown 1. Before we get started with the third period, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. And you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, along with WRPI is broadcasting. We provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, it's WRPI.org. WRPI Sports, even current RPI students make live calls for RPI athletic events, such as the one you're listening to right now between RPI and Brown. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for RPI baseball. For more information or to express an interest, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu. My name is Tom Reel, and I'm joined this fine evening by my good friend, Perry Lascaris.
It is a fine evening, Tom, and
we are good friends?
Yeah, all those things are true. Also, we're expecting warm temperatures next week. I think it's getting a lot of people here excited in the area.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, what, in the 60s by Monday?
Yeah. I'll take it whenever, actually.
That will be fine. We have been spoiled this season by a dry and relatively mild winter.
There's been almost snow. We did get some rain, which probably could have been snow in past years recently, but other than that, it's been nice.
If you do need snow, there is some sitting outside of the Houston Fieldhouse.
I have seen students. I don't want to get anyone in trouble stealing that snow in garbage bags to take back to the.
This is odd. Would not expect. Probably the only place I would expect to see that would be at Arizona State. That's it.
Well, they're doing it here, which can attribute to some of the or let you know about what we've had here as far as snow. We're underway here in the third period. So we'll tell you about that. Instead of our snow stories, it's Milos Prebella to center, long stretch pass, trying to find DeVito. He does a nice job to touch up. Picked up Mike Prapavesis. Far side, he's wrapped up by Gottlieb, has him by the arm. It's played around to the far boards, kept in by Jimmy DeVito. 2-1 RPI leading. Bears got an early second period goal to tie the game at 1, but Prapavesis with 44.4 seconds left did in the second gave RPI back the lead. Here's an icing call against the Bears. That starting group will have to stay on 42 seconds into the period.
This can't be a lead that the Engineers are content to set up. They've got to go out and try and get themselves that 2-goal edge, because in the third period, anything can happen with a 1-goal lead. They're going to want that insurance going forward. Absolutely.
Face off here, poke to the point. Wilson keeps it in at the blue line. Fed far point, Reno. Just fires towards goal, took a deflection off of Bourbonnais, but wide. And now a clearing effort. They'll wave off the icing here. It comes rolling in on Kasdorf anyway. He'll steer it to the side of the net for Lou Nanne, the sophomore from Edina, Minnesota. 15 assists on the year. Tops on the team, also has 21 points. Second to Bourbonnais in that department. Work near side for Zach Schrader, playing in his 148th game for the Engineers. Shot coming, saved by Ernst on a blocker. And the rebound popped right out in front. It's stolen away by Bird and cleared to safety. Now trying to lift out of the zone, Preisbeck kept in along the boards by Schrader. Hampton helps out up the wall. Bourbonnais is there as well, but now it's finally pushed out back to center ice. Preisbeck has it swatted away by Moore. Back for Jesper Orval. He'll carry into the offensive end. Offside was Bourbonnais. He'll fire a shot a little bit after the whistle, but no one seems to mind. 18-19 to go, third period. It's 2-1 Engineers. Shots are now 19-18 Bears.
And there's 18-19 left in the third period. RPI holding a 2-1 lead. And notice that Jake Wood was back out on the bench for the third period, and now he is back out on the ice as well, so good to see him back out there for the Engineers.
Good sign for RPI. They've had some injuries up front all year long as they get it deep. Near side wall, it's going to be Alex Brink high in the air, bouncing puck into RPI territory. They've gone with the home run method all evening. Brown has. Here's Corcoran, who does jump on the puck this time. He's sealed off the play by Bradley, but it's picked back up again by Brink. He'll back one towards goal. Picked away, was blocked and never got to Kasdorf. Cross ice feed behind Bradley. Works it up for Miller. And now tripped up on the play, and the Engineers are going to draw a penalty here. It was, I believe, Orval tripped up on his way to the offensive zone. It will be a hooking call, and the Engineers will go on the power play for the third time. A little over 2 into the third period.
Well, the Engineers being 0 for 2 on the power play doesn't come as much of a surprise to really anybody who's watched much of the RPI power play this season. But in those 2 chances, the Engineers, they've looked pretty good. I'm not going to say that they've gone without chances. They only have 1 official shot on goal, but they've held the zone well and they've taken some decent opportunities.
Prapavesis, far side, Orval. Down low to the far corner for Bourbonnais. Back up top, far point, Orval. To the top of the circle now. Here's Riley Bourbonnais, carries it center of the slot. Now Prapavesis to the circle. Up top, far side, one-timer, Wilson scores! A power play goal for the Engineers. And a big time to pick it up. It's 3-1.
That's a crucial goal. Like I was saying early in this period, RPI needed to get that next goal. They needed to be the one to get the insurance marker rather than to have to try to fight for another one. We kind of realized that they were going to need to get a little bit more to get out of this game, whether it was going to be now or later. Might as well have it now. But if the Engineers can keep pushing forward, sometimes your best defense is just playing good offense. They did that during the second period. And now here early in the third period, they were doing it early. They got a power play. They got a power play goal now. They can maintain possession. They can seize control of this series.
The Engineers score on the power play here. Wilson's 5th of the season. Makes it 3-1. As we drop things at center ice, 17-19 to play. We didn't go back in time. Liljegren shoots it in. File around near side. Techmeyer off the side of the net. Here's DeVito. Works it to the far side, centering pass out in front. Liljegren tied up, trying to find it. Then he tried to tap it back to the point. It's intercepted. Middleton, far side, Prescott into the zone. Prescott in, shooting off the crossbar and out. Back come the Engineers. DeVito with speed. Liljegren going to the net, trying to find him. Liljegren saved by Ernst, and Liljegren caught a piece of Ernst's paddles in 2 opportunities against the Bears. The last time these two teams played. That's not necessarily a good thing because the Engineers have played a good number of games between then. But at this point, they'll take it. 3-1 RPI as the Bears look to break out of their own zone. In comes Brink. Shot over the top of the net. That one was rising on Kasdorf and missed. Now Lafferty. Far side circle. Brink tries to stick handle through Prapavessis. That's not easy to do. RPI breaks it up, but they can't clear. Willman from the point. Kind of a knuckle puck in on Kasdorf. Leaves it to the side as he had minimal pressure. And now it's Prapavessis on for Bourbonnais. Stick handles to center, fed up the boards. Picked up by File at his own blue line. Lafferty drops it off. Into the zone comes Bird. Bird walking in. A shot. That one deflects off of Bradley, sticking over the top of the net. Chopped at by DeVito out to center. Not enough on it for icing. The Engineers will get a change. Not quite 5 minutes into the third period. The Engineers have added to its lead. It's now 3-1 and their lead. Fed into the slot for Bird. A shot saved. Kasdorf rebound pops away to the point. File. Wrister coming. Blocked again, this time by Babella. He'll one-hand it to center and try to jump on it. Milos Babella into the offensive zone. Walking in a shot and a blocker saved by Ernst. He was being pressured all the way, was Milos Babella, but he still got the shot away. Babella runs into Lafferty. Puck around to the far wall. Liljegren to the point. Reno. He'll step into one. That one's blocked and trickles to behind the goal. DeVito around to the far side. Liljegren finds it there. He's wrapped up by Techmeyer. They continue to scrum there. Bouncing puck out to center. Milos Babella near side for Wilson. Jared Wilson from in front of his own bench will move it along and move it in deep. Jimmy DeVito has it knocked away from him. Stepping away from a check was Lappin, and now we get a penalty here. Maybe a knee is going to be called, but the Engineers are going on the kill with 14:22 left in the third period, holding on to a 2-goal lead.
It's going to be a tripping call. I also thought it could have been a kneeing call, but it's 2 minutes either way, no matter how you slice it. Mark Miller, the senior from Messina, New York, is the one who will be off for 2 minutes. So this is the moment now for Brown. They're on the power play. They haven't looked terrible on the power play, but they haven't been able to score one either. So kind of a crucial moment now. RPI gets out of this one. They're looking pretty good at even strength, but if they allow a goal, it's back to a 1-goal game.
Face-off win back to the point. McCardle shoots it around to the near side, waiting for it. Gottlieb back at the near point. Bourbonnais nearly stole it away. Chopped at, but Gottlieb stays on it. Down low, Lappin. Cross ice, and a shot by Neclario. Saved by Kasdorf with the right arm. Nice job by Jason Kasdorf going left to right to get in front of that one.
14:07 remaining in the third period. RPI with that 3-1 lead I was mentioning. 1:45 left on the penalty to Miller, and the face-off coming up to the right of Jason Kasdorf. The RPI penalty kill has been a bright spot in their game this year. It's going to have to be another bright spot in this portion of this game right now.
Face-off to the right of Kasdorf here. 15 seconds into this power play for Brown. To the point now, McCardle. Down low into the circle, touch pass Marchand. To the point now, McCardle. Center blue line, waiting. Far point, Neclario. Down low for Lappin, he carries it back up top, finds McCardle, center blue line, shot deflects. That one goes wide. Lappin at the far wall, he's wrapped up by Bradley. Bradley trying to clear, finds some room, and it stays on the ice. Thought for a second he was going to find his own bench with that clearance. Actually trickles in on goal. Ernst leaves it there. On comes Gottlieb into the offensive zone. Max Gottlieb earning precious experience as a freshman here, playing for this Brown top line. As it's moved in front, Lappin a shot that goes wide from between the circles. Just kind of turned around and winged that one in. Here's Gottlieb. There's a loose stick on the far side of the ice, but everyone now has one on the ice. No, it's Wood playing without one. Shot coming. That one takes a deflection. Good block by Wilson as he kept that one from getting to the net. Now Lafferty makes a move into the slot, fed far side. One-timer, they score. Corcoran on the power play, and it's 3-2. Coach Abbott talked about it pregame. This is a team you cannot take penalties against. They will make you pay, and once again the Bears do. It's a one-goal game.
Well, that one's kind of a 5-on-3.5 goal. Jake Wood was playing without a stick because he'd given it off to one of the defenders. I didn't see exactly who it was that had lost their stick. I think it was Reno who had lost his stick along the boards. You always want to make sure your defensemen have the stick, but in that case, the Brown player was able to maneuver around Jake Wood, in part because Wood didn't have his stick. If he had, he would have been able to probably stick check the puck away from him, but that's just Brown taking advantage of the situation as it was, and they used that situation to come within a goal. It's 3-2.
Shot in deep by the Engineers. First one to it, Gillespie. That one caught a piece of Corcoran. He's hobbled a bit, but the Engineers still in the attack. Rodriguez, near side wall, looks to cycle. Gillespie, the first one there, run into by Corcoran. This is the smaller line up there, for Brown. RPI with some bodies that can maybe push them around a bit, including Gillespie. You've seen a bit of it already. Here's Brink now. He looks to carry, takes the stick up high from Gillespie. We play on. Gottlieb filtering it towards the net, comes all the way through to the near side, where Rodriguez will jump on it. Off the wall to center. Gillespie backhands it in. Steered to the far side by Ernst, and now back come the Bears. Willman trying to make a move on Hampton. All the way around. Wraparound try. Where's the puck? Pinned against the post by Kasdorf, maybe. They say no goal. Holy cow. Willman thought he scored. Kasdorf may have dragged that one out, and we may get a review here. 11:58 to go in the third period. A tremendous move by Max Willman on the wraparound. We'll see if he was kept out or not.
Not a goal you usually expect to see Jason Kasdorf give up. He's usually good at sealing up that side, but he didn't in this case. And it's hard to see from the above angle.
You can't see the puck at all.
You can't see the puck. It's difficult to believe that it didn't go in based on where the puck was sent and where the leg of Jason Kasdorf was.
This is going to be no goal because they can't see any difference.
They're not going to be able to count this because you can't see the puck overhead. And here's the side view that we're looking at. Oh, that's awful close. It's at least sitting on the line from what we're looking at on RPI TV. That's sitting at least on the goal line. But we haven't seen yet an angle that can clearly say that it's in. That one right there that we're looking at might be enough, but it's awful difficult. You just don't get to the point where you see the puck fully on white. Willman certainly thought that he had scored. In fact, he was trying to sell it pretty well, at least. He was pretty much moving all the way down the near boards with his arms up in the air as though he had scored. It's looking at all angles, it's hard for me to say that this wasn't in, but there's no angle that suggests to me that it could be overturned based on video evidence.
Yeah, I mean,
Perry just went down to look. Now, Perry, this is RPI Brown we're talking about. Was the review equipment working properly?
The equipment is working properly,
okay.
So they're able to look at this, and I have the same opinion you do. There's no way they can call this a goal from what we saw from what RPI TV has, which is even better quality than what they have. You can't see the puck, and you can't see it across any line. Therefore,
there were a couple of. We saw one angle.
Yeah.
At least those of us watching on TV saw an angle where, from the front, it looked like there wasn't really any earthly way that the puck didn't go in, but you just never see it. Kasdorf's body from both the overhead and from in front is blocking just enough of the goal line area that you just can't see where the puck goes. So there's no really good way to say that this for sure went in. I think the only person who probably could see it was not Jason Kasdorf.
It was Willman?
It was Max Willman,
yeah,
who I think raised his arms based on the idea that he saw the puck in, but he's the only one.
See, the officials don't have this angle. I mean, the puck has to be in there, right?
it doesn't seem physically possible for the puck not to be in, based on where. Based on where it came from.
If it's up against the post, oh boy, he pulls it out of the net. But I don't think they have that. They don't have that. They have the top side angle.
Oh boy.
So I don't think they can call this a goal.
Based on that, it's still hard to say for sure the puck crossed fully over the line, though. From what we can see,
right?
From what we know, from what we can see from that angle, from what we know of physics, it probably went in. But what you can see is what's important, and we can't see much.
It's a problem the NFL is having seemingly every single game. What you can see and what actually happened aren't necessarily always the same thing.
Right.
And what you can assume by physics isn't necessarily what you can call on the ice. It's very bizarre, but basically what it comes down to is things can't be assumed.
That is correct. Taking another look at it on TV, it's difficult to see exactly where. Right there, the puck has got to be in.
It's gone from our view. And folks,
Jason Kasdorf's pad is in the net, and it's not sealed up against the post. So from there, it looks like it has to be in, but you can't see where the puck is because the line of sight is basically behind the post.
Basically, what we're seeing from RPI TV, the puck has to be in the goal, but I don't know from what angles they can see from the review, which I believe is only the top-down. They only get the top-down angle. And
from the top-down angle, you can't see a thing.
You can't see absolutely
anything.
not. Wow, no goal.
They're waving it
says
off.
Robert St. Lawrence.
This is the right call to make based on the video evidence. But if you're Brown, you have to feel like you were robbed here. But you got to play on from here. You have to kind of pick up and just say, okay, we got to go as though this wasn't in. But you can feel like it was in, but you have to know it was in. That's the bottom line.
And the fact that they did not know it was in. 3-2, RPI continues to lead. Still a long way to go. 11:58 left, third period. Face off in the RPI zone. So for the second time this year, maybe less so than the last time, the Bears have scored a goal that doesn't count, and we will play on.
The last time, well, from the video that we saw, it was very clearly and defined that it should have been a goal.
Right.
This one, the only thing we really have is that we feel like it must have been a goal because of
where else could the puck go?
Where else would it have possibly been? But there was nothing that conclusively proved it, and they waved it off on the ice. So you have to go with that.
Most importantly, the video equipment was working, and they decided off of that and not something else as of it not working. Anyway, here's Lappin in the slot. A shot and a save by Kasdorf. Lappin's gotten free a bit here in the third period, something the Engineers should be worried about. It's Niclario now along the wall, knock free, Prapavesis. He's tied up again by Niclario. Lappin bumps into Schrader, and they tussle along the far wall. Now Lappin gets loose again, back to the point, kept in Gottlieb. No, he did not keep it in. And we get a stoppage in play with 11:21 to play. Third period, the Engineers holding on to a narrow 3-2 lead.
Well, I initially thought they weren't calling that one out. I thought it was very clearly out of the zone. Close, but it was pretty clear. And a little bit of a late whistle, but it was well justified. So at 11:21 left in regulation, RPI still a 3-2 lead and a face-off right outside the RPI end.
Draw here. One to the near side neutral zone. Shot in by Techmeyer. Whoa, he didn't shoot it in, he shot it out of the rink into the crowd. We'll have to do it again from center ice. This is pretty much what we expected, Tom, for these two teams. A tight game, back and forth. It's what it's been really for the last few years.
RPI really not playing back. It's more just a function of Brown playing with the initiative that they have because they're playing from behind. They need the goals, so they're pushing forward.
Engineers were able to create some separation in the power play last time. Here comes Lodgren walking in. That one blocked by Techmeyer into the netting, and we'll have a stoppage. That was a 3-on-2 rush for the Engineers, and their most potent line, at least currently, of DeVito, Bobella, and Liljegren.
There's enough time left in this game for Brown to finish mounting their comeback. RPI's best opportunities sometimes come on those counter-attacking chances. Brown's going to be pushing forward. That's going to leave some spaces open for the Engineers as they can take control of the puck in their own end.
Face off to the right of Ernst. It's had an up and down year. Coach Whitted said he's kind of settled down as the season has gone on. He's still giving up some rebounds that RPI has been able to take advantage of. Some more times than others. There's a face-off as one around to the far side. Good play to move it back to the point. Here's Wilson. Jared Wilson makes a move, throws one towards goal, blocked there by Brink, and it's out to center. Parker Reno waits and shoots it right back in. Techmeyer to pick it up behind the goal. He's pressured by Orval. Indirect pass far side over to Willman. Thought he had scored moments ago. Hard pass off the wall, loose in the slot. Comes all the way free to Brink. The Engineers nearly turn over into a scoring chance. That one's wired into the crowd. Watch out, little guy. I think it missed him.
Just to recap, scoring on Brown's second goal, a power play goal at 7:04 of the third period. Goal was scored by Charlie Corcoran, his third of the season. The assist is going to Sam Lafferty, who made a good move around a stickless Jake Wood to make that goal happen. And the secondary assist to Tommy Marchin makes it 3-2 RPI, I should say. A goal scored by Brown. And that is where we stand with 10:26 remaining in the third period and face-off coming up at center ice.
Young fan in the crowd just got hit, I think, like in the stomach with that puck, but he's really toughing it out. Obviously, he has the puck as well, but we hope he is fine and hope he continues to enjoy this game. Loose puck behind the Brown goal. It was just wired into the crowd. Didn't hit anything. Those are some of the more dangerous pucks to go into the stands area. Puck played to center. Papavesis picks it up there. Shot near side for Bradley. Fed on for Nanny. Near side, Bourbonnais along the wall. Centering pass, looking in front off the side of the cage. Nanny looking for the deflection there. Back behind it goes. Tyler Wood beaten to the puck by Schrader. Zach Schrader trying to poke it to the point. Prescott has it poked away by Papavesis, but now carried on. Prescott ahead. Here's Middleton into the zone. Far side circle, pulls it back. Fed to the point. Making a move, McCardle. He's tripped up by Schrader, and we play on. Chipped off the boards for Bourbonnais. He's one-on-one with Gottlieb. Bourbonnais driving the net. Bourbonnais walking in. Saved by Ernst. Rebound. DeVito looking for the puck. And we get a whistle here. They're not going to call a penalty, are they?
I think they're going to call DeVito for cross-checking, even though he was taking a whack at the puck.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, they're calling a hit from behind. That's even less of what was just happening. This seems a little bit like the wrong call. I don't think there was much of a penalty at all. It was basically DeVito going after the rebound, trying to throw it in, and he just ended up making contact with his stick. I mean, how can that be hitting from behind?
That's bizarre.
That's strange. But
if anything, you could have mistaken it for a cross check, maybe. But it was
that's
him
what I was thinking they were
trying to slap the puck with the blade of his stick.
It seems like a bad spot to be calling a penalty, but a little bit of an even-up opportunity since Brown kind of, sort of, maybe scored a goal that didn't count. Right. So an opportunity for Brown to rectify that on the power play.
A lot of assumptions being made there. 9:12 to play in the third period. 3-2 RPI power play time for Brown. I'm with you all the way. 3-2, the Engineers lead. Bears have scored in their most recent power play. Miller wants to skate shorthanded. He's one-on-one with File. Bears retreating to catch up. Miller was just carried behind the net. He gets hit behind the cage. And that little excursion at least wasted some time. Lafferty will shoot it back in for Brown around to the far corner. Parker Reno over skates. Bird trying to find it there. Flips it back to the point. Lots of time and space for Gottlieb. Far side circle now, Corcoran. He'll turn back to the top of the circle. Up top, Gottlieb has it here. Near side, 8.5 to go, third period. RPI leads by a goal. Gottlieb across for Naclario just off the bench. Nearly gave it away. Reno trying to force it out of the zone. Centering pass out in front. Loose to the side of the cage. It's swatted all the way down. Great play by Wilson. The Engineers with a great penalty kill effort there. With Brown knocking on the door. 8 minutes to go. Into the zone, they're offside. 41 ticks on the DeVito phantom penalty.
Well, it's a real penalty.
Real penalty.
Whether it should have been called or not is, I guess, beside the point. But at this point, 41 seconds remaining on that penalty. 8:07 left in regulation. RPI still up 3-2. Brown is 1 for 2 coming into this power play on the man advantage.
Puck at center, controlled there by McCardle. Across for Gottlieb. He'll shoot it in. Bradley swings and misses on a clearing effort. Now Marchand trying to walk it out in front. Nice play back to the line from McCardle. Far point, Gottlieb. He'll carry it center blue line. On for Naclario. Gives it to Lappin, he gives it back. Naclario back to Lappin down low far corner. Back up top, Naclario, center blue line. McCardle, top of the far circle. Naclario, wrister. That one over the top of the net, comes down off the glass. Penalty about to expire. Puck down low for Marchand. He'll backhand it behind the cage. Lappin with it. Stolen away. Out of the box to Vito. Gottlieb, cross ice feed, goes through Naclario. Prapavezis now will wrap it far side. Picked up by Jimmy DeVito. Trying to move it out to center ice. He takes a hit and goes down. Controlled now by the Bears. Engineers kill off the penalty. It was a big one. Regardless of whether they thought it should have happened or not, they were able to buckle down and get the job done. Here's Wood. Knocked away by Prescott, but Wood takes it back. Jake Wood into the offensive zone. He gets a hit. And the puck is turned back the other way. Here's Doan into the RPI zone. Flips it to the far side wall. Gets run into by Reno. They both go down. Now Travis Fulton for the Engineers. Some room to work in the neutral zone. Fulton into the zone near side. Still Fulton down low. Firing a shot off the back of the net. Techmeyer now, far side for Brown. A rolling puck fed up the wall. Poked at by Wilson, slapped back the other way. Techmeyer again, into Middleton. Good play with the skates by Fulton to steer it away, and now falling down Gillespie, lost the puck. Techmeyer for Brown, behind his own goal, using it as a screen. Stolen away by Gillespie, and now a couple Brown players run into each other. Rodriguez down low, on for Gillespie. Takes a hit, loses the puck to the near side corner for Bourbonnais. 6:15 to play in the third. To the point for Moore. Far point now, Hampton. Wrist shot coming. That goes wide. Bouncing puck to the near boards. Slapped on further by Rodriguez. Around to the far corner it goes. Race for the puck. First one to it, Preisbeck. He gets hit by Bourbonnais. Rodriguez chipping it further for Riley Bourbonnais in the corner. He's pinned against the boards by Shu. On for Techmeyer. He escapes the forecheck pressure. Gillespie feeds it ahead. Shu leading the attack. 3-on-2 in the RPI zone. Good stick by Hampton. To the corner now. Trying to make a move there. It was lost. And now it picked up by RPI. Chipped off the boards by Gillespie. Can't clear the zone. Lafferty has it knocked away, and now here's Mears Moore off the far wall. Stolen back by the Bears. Lafferty in the zone. Far side point. Gottlieb will go on a move. Gottlieb down low, trying to feed it off. It's picked up by Bird there. To the point for Lafferty. Wrist shot coming, blocked by the skate of Gillespie, and that caught him in a bad spot as he's slowed a bit. Rodriguez to center, chips it in off the stick of one of the Bears players. Comes in on Ernst anyway. Coming up on 5 minutes to go in regulation. The Engineers have a 3-2 lead here at the Houston Fieldhouse. You are listening to RPI Hockey on 91.5 FM. WRPI Troy, Per Lascaris, Tom Rio. It's game one of this ECAC Hockey's first round series. Babella in, 2-on-1 with Liljegren. Gives it back. Shot by Babella goes wide. He got a little bit too deep. And by the end, he didn't have much to shoot at. Babella now in the far circle. Jumping on it, Liljegren. Stolen away by Techmeyer. And now he'll carry it behind the net. Looping back behind is Brink, looking to get away from DeVito. Gets a pass back from Willman. Here's Brink into the RPI zone, poked away by Liljegren. He and Prapavezis go into the back wall behind Kasdorf. Picked up by Victor Liljegren. He's pressured by Marchand. They tie up in the near corner of the RPI zone. Back to the point for Tyler Wood. Shot coming, blocked by Babella to the side of the cage, and Kasdorf will cover and get a whistle. 4:16 to play, third period. It's 3-2 Engineers.
Well, this team rarely does it the easy way. It's a one-goal game late, and they have that lead. 4:16 left in regulation. Brown has had a good amount of possession lately, but RPI has looked good on the counterattack as well. A good move by Alex Rodriguez about a minute ago to get to that red line and then just dump it on goal, if only just to get his line off the ice since he'd been out there defending for quite some time.
Pucked into the near side, now to the point. Techmeyer wrister coming, saved by Kasdorf. Big old rebound, pops to the slot. The Engineers take it away. Bourbonnais off the teammates in his bench into the glove of Cam Hackett. And Hackett will find a fan in the crowd. Quick thinking by the presumed ECAC Hockey All-Rookie goaltender Cam Hackett, who hasn't played in quite some time.
But to be fair, to be fair to the rest of the league, I suppose,
right.
There aren't really that many freshman netminders that would be eligible. He's got about as much time in goal in ECAC play as really any freshman out there, and he played brilliantly when he had the opportunity.
He really earned it, and that's why I think that will be the case.
Yeah.
Just in a matter of opinion, though, those have not been released in any form. 3:52 to go in the third period. Engineers have it their own blue line. Chipped along by Babella off the back of McCardle, on for Nanny. Walking in, his shot was blocked. Lou Nanny in the near corner, being harassed by Gottlieb. Cycles for Milos Babella, stolen away by Lafferty. Lafferty for the Bears, far side. Middleton skates to center, he'll shoot it in. To the near corner it goes. Jimmy DeVito quickly ahead for Liljegren, too far for him. He didn't get a touch either. This will be icing on the Engineers, an unforced error. We'll send a face-off back to the RPI zone with 3:22 to play.
This is a Brown team that once they get their netminder out for the extra skater, it can be very, very dangerous. They've looked good on the power play here today. They've got that top line, Tommy Marching, Mark Niclario, and Nick Lappin, that can be very dangerous anyway, but you give them a sixth skater out there, it might be kind of nailed by any time, really.
Face-off won back by the Engineers. Milos Babella high in the air to center. Where will it come down? Liljegren trying to find it. Techmeyer does first. He'll shoot it off the boards and take a hard hit from Liljegren. Shot all the way down the ice. And we battle below the goal line. Puck bounces to the far circle. Shot coming by Shu. Deflects behind the net. Fanning on the one-timer. The puck all the way out of the zone. And it will be corralled by Gottlieb, who just came over the wall. Max Gottlieb with the puck here for Brown. 2:50 to go. Shots are 30-23 Bears. So the Engineers have a 3-2 lead. Carried in by Schrader. Shot deflects, comes around to the near point. DeVito high in the air. Glove down there by McCardle. He'll move it to center. Carried on further. Shot by Niclario right on, and Kasdorf saw that one well. It was in good position and made the save.
2:29 now left in regulation, and the faceoff will be in the RPI zone. Still taking a look down to see when Tim Ernst will be vacating the premises. He is still in net for now. As time gets a little bit closer here, we might see him skate off, especially if Brown wins his faceoff.
Draw here with 2.5 to play. Right side of Jason Kasdorf. This will come trickling in on goal. He'll help it to the corner with the stick. Brink back to the point. Nanny's going to get there. Try to chop it out of the zone. He can't. Willman will fire wide. Hasn't missed too much tonight. Willman has 7 of Brown's 31 shots here as we have a whistle and an offside call. He has 1 goal to show for it, does Max Willman, and potentially 2. He had that wraparound that was determined to be a no-goal.
Scores elsewhere in the ECAC. All of these games late in the third period. Colgate and Dartmouth are tied at 2. Princeton has a 2-1 lead over Clarkson, and Cornell is up 1-0 on Union.
Mike Prapaves is a goal and an assist for RPI. He has the puck now. Far side for Schrader. He gets run into by File, poked along up the far boards. Now trickling into RPI territory, corralled by Corcoran. He gets cut off, but the shot comes from Brink. Blockered away into the netting by Kasdorf, and we get a stoppage in play. Exactly 2 minutes left in the third.
Time's just slowly kind of trickling away. We're seeing face-offs followed by a quick flurry of action and then stoppages. We've probably had, I think, 4 face-offs in the last minute of gameplay. But Tim Ernst is still back there in his crease with 120 seconds remaining. RPI with a 1-goal lead. Brown pushing for that tying goal.
Draw to the right of Kasdorf again. Prapaves is trying to lift it out of the zone. Babella forces it there. Now a chance for RPI to break. Liljegren's with him. Babella on for Liljegren. Walking in. A shot. Trying to throw it back for Babella, in fact, and he wasn't there. A little bit too unselfish maybe from Victor Liljegren. We see him score in a similar situation. This one will come trickling in on Kasdorf. He'll let it play for Babella as Brink took a poor angle shot that was easily handled. Bradley near side of the RPI end. Up the wall and into the bench. It touched somebody, I believe, in the RPI bench area. That'll get a stoppage here. 1:32 to play in regulation time. RPI still up 1.
A little bit surprised that Kasdorf didn't choose to take the stoppage right there, but I guess if you think you can move the puck, you want to work as much time as you can, and you don't want that face-off to be in your own zone. Brown's going to call their timeout with 1:32 left in the third period. And the face-off's going to be right outside the RPI end. So with the face-off coming in the neutral zone, I think you'd probably be a little bit hard-pressed to pull Tim Ernst right now. But especially if Brown doesn't win this face-off, then that's going to give RPI the opportunity to gain that red line and then take a pot shot. So I think if you're Brown here, you leave him in there, you see what happens with the face-off, and if you win the face-off, you should be coming off pretty much immediately to give your team as much time as possible with that 6th skater.
Paid attendance tonight, 2,182. Seems low, although you have to factor in all these tickets had to be purchased within the last week. I mean, season tickets.
That tends to be the issue
Right.
when it comes to the playoffs, is that unless you have season tickets, you have to get the tickets the week ahead of time instead of well out. So
Tougher that way. Anyway,
at least the students are here. That's not always
that's a
the
good
case
point.
in the playoffs.
Good point, Tom. Face-offs right now, 31-24 Brown. They lead in shots as well. And Tim Ernst is about halfway out of his net.
So that's basically what we're going to see. If Brown wins his face-off, he's going to rush off.
Draw here, kept by the Bears in the neutral zone. McCardle far side, waiting as Ernst. Now he's off as Gottlieb gets it in. Bradley trying to clear it out near side. Can the Engineers find that elusive empty net goal? They have not been able to find much of the year in similar situations. Now it's the playoffs. Bradley in the near corner. They continue to tie up. Babella trying to clear it out far side. Puck pops in the air. Lappin, far side corner. Pulls it out. He'll carry it up top still. Rister coming. Save loose to the far side. Marchand couldn't get his stick on it. They wrap up there. DeVito now a chance to clear. Fires it down the ice. Is going to miss the net and not make it. McCardle trying to clear it out near side. Lappin helps it to the RPI line. Stolen away by Bradley. Fed in the air off a glove. McCardle will set it down in his own zone. Far side circle. 45 seconds to play. Here's Gottlieb. Fed to the RPI line. Moved in by Leclario to the near side corner. Bradley slaps at it. Loose near circle. Back to the far point some time. McCardle broken up by DeVito, but they stay on the puck. Lappin, Rister, save. Rebound put wide on the try by Willman. Puck shot near side all the way down the ice. They wave off the icing. 22 seconds to go. Lappin taking a look around. That puck never made it to the goal line. Far side, chip it in to the near corner. Wilson finds it there with 13 to play. Around to the far corner for Bourbonnais. He'll pin it against the glass. No. Scooped up out to center. 5 seconds to go. Race for the puck. Miller wants that empty netter. It'll miss the net with one, and that will do it. RPI hangs on for the 3-2 win here in Game 1 of the series. They'll look to close things out tomorrow night.
Can't really underscore how important it is to get the job done tomorrow night, too, if you're RPI. They've played with fire with some frequency here in the Fieldhouse in the playoffs, and they have gotten burned each of the last several times they've played with fire. Plenty of three-game series, but I keep following in that third game. They have the initiative now. You lose that initiative if you can't close it out on Saturday, then it's pretty much, then it is winner take all. RPI bent and didn't break in that third period. They got the 3-1 lead. Gave up a power play goal. I don't want to say the word shenanigans. I did just say it.
You said it.
I did in fact just. I think Brown probably feels like they might have gotten the short end of the stick again here, but at least this time we can say fairly with some certainty that the right call was made, just because you couldn't tell from the overhead.
Right, the officials are given what they're given, and from what they were able to see, they could not see the puck cross the line, and that's what they have to go by, and that's what they went with. So you can't fault them in any way.
And there was an official behind the net.
Right.
So he was looking right at it. So
and he put his hands up and said, I couldn't see it.
He didn't see it. The only person that seems like they saw it for sure was Max Willman, and you just can't take his word for it. So,
I mean, and sometimes that's hockey. I mean, the referee behind the net can see the back of Kasdorf's left leg, and that's between him and the puck.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. That's hockey, because the goal that Brown had just scored about a minute earlier on the power play, if you're RPI, you kind of just, your shoulders just let down a little bit, just because you see Jake Wood just get completely blown away because he doesn't have a stick. But that's hockey. When you're killing penalties, sometimes you're going to have the worst possible time to break a stick, and that's what happened to Parker Reno on that play. And Jake Wood, like you're supposed to do,
give your stick.
Good play. Give your stick away to the defenseman. They need it more than you do. But he still needed a stick there. That's it. I mean, that's hockey. That's the way it goes. Same with goals that get disallowed for whatever reason. It seemed like a terrible reason last time that Brown was here, but this time it's at least legitimate. But this game was a dogfight. Tomorrow night's going to be a bigger dogfight, because Browns' backs are fully up against the wall now. If they lose tomorrow, their season's over. It's got to be a thing for RPI where they just don't let up. They have to go out with that same kind of killer instinct. They need to be the ones with their backs against the wall tomorrow. At least they have to play that way.
And you really have to do. It's tough to put a team away, no matter how many wins they have on the year. To end a team season is extremely difficult, and that's what the Engineers' goal will be tomorrow night, to punctuate this one and get the win and prepare for what's next.
Finally get themselves over that hump, which has been really the bugaboo. And Seth Abbott never wants to talk about it. It's okay. Because from a holistic standpoint, looking at this series, it's all meaningless. But it's in the back of the minds of longtime RPI fans. I'm sure Seth knows about it, so it's probably sitting back there and just doesn't want to acknowledge it. But it's certainly in the mind of the seniors too, because they experienced it twice. They know it's difficult to do at home, and they want to be. I'm sure that they wanted to get themselves over that hump.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, as much as you don't want to make it part of the series, it isn't. But until you do something about it, it's going to be talked. It's going to be talked about from alumni, fans, media, whoever you want to say. How come you haven't done this? Is always going to be an idea in someone's head. And when you put that to bed, then it's like Peyton Manning finally won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean it's a much smaller scale, but it's the same idea.
It's something even the freshmen on this team know about. This is their first playoff experience in the NCAA and the ECAC, but they've heard the stories. They know that it's been a drag on this program for over a decade now that they haven't won a home playoff series. So tomorrow, the opportunity to finally get that monkey off their back so we can stop talking about that.
Absolutely. We would like nothing better. I will run down the scoring.
Actually, before we get to
that, Tom will run on the scoring out of town.
ECAC scoreboard out of town. Only one final besides the 3-2 victory for RPI here at the Fieldhouse, and that is at Liner Rink. Cornell with a goal in the third period. As a matter of fact, I believe that goal came relatively late. It did. Holden Anderson scores at 13:48 of the third period, and that was the only goal of the game as Cornell defeats Union 1-0 to take a 1-0 lead in that series. They'll look to close out the Dutchman tomorrow night at Liner Rink. Other two games are going to overtime, which means we won't have final scores for you because they have full overtime intermissions between those. But Dartmouth and Colgate tied at 2, heading to an extra session in Hanover, and up in Potsdam, the Golden Knights and the Tigers are also tied at 2. That game was tied up on a goal with 22 seconds remaining. Sam Vigneault scoring a power play goal with the extra attacker to tie that one up. So high drama at Shield Arena in Potsdam as Clarkson and Princeton tied at 2 and heading off to overtime.
Scoring in this game, Mears Moore got things started with his second of the year from Kenny Gillespie and Alex Rodriguez at 7:37 of the first period. Brown came back to tie it at 2:57 of the second. Max Willman is third of the season from Charlie Corcoran and Max Gottlieb. The Engineers regained the lead late in the period. 44 seconds left in it. Mike Prapovessis picking up his fourth tally of the season from Riley Bourbonnais and Zach Schrader. RPI took a 2-goal lead at 3-1 on the power play at 2:39 of the third period. Jared Wilson's fifth goal of the year from Mike Prapovessis and Riley Bourbonnais made it 3-1, and then a power play goal by the Bears, 7:04 of the third. It was Corcoran picking up the tally from Lafferty and Marchant to make it 3-2. That's as close as the Bears got as the Engineers were able to shut the door. Jason Kausdorff made 33 saves to pick up the win. Tim Ernst made 20 stops at the other end.
On offense for RPI, you just take a look at the score sheet and see that 3 different defensemen scored goals to account for RPI's 3 on the evening. But the one that impressed me the most really was Mears Moore, and I know he's gotten a lot of flack this year for his output, whether it's just a relative lack of offensive attack. We kind of expected him to be an offensive defenseman. We haven't seen a lot of numbers from him. He's got an awful lot of ice time, and I even heard some people coming in tonight saying, well, if we're going to play with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen, maybe we should have had Tommy Grant out there, who has been a strong player for RPI in his freshman year, and that maybe Mears Moore shouldn't have been playing tonight because he's a little bit smaller. Brown's a big team, and they like to play physical hockey, but we saw tonight exactly why Mears Moore gets all of the ice time that he gets. He's only missed 1 game all year, but he's an asset to this team offensively because he has the ability to pick up trailers like he did on the puck that was dropped off by Kenny Gillespie. He has Not quite the same level as Mike Krapavessis, but he has the ability to get down into the zone and take shots. And that shot that he scored on, that's a sniper's shot. That's a shot that that a pure goal scorer scores.
Right.
And that's what Mears Moore did there to give RPI the 1-0 lead. But that wasn't even his only opportunity of the game. He was seemingly involved in the offense from start to finish tonight, and he doesn't get enough credit for what he does out there, I think. So Mears Moore, my offensive engineer of the game.
Plus, I had a pretty great story about practice yesterday.
You did.
That was a great. I thought that was like as soon as he scored, I was like, "There's no way that's Mears Moore," and it was Mears Moore.
There you go.
Fantastic.
So maybe just by that stroke, if there was nothing else, that put him over the top.
Absolutely. He took the shot. It went into the top corner, and he just skated off the ice. He said, "I'm done with practice for today." And I said, "Well, you can't do much better than that." And he said, "Well, let's see if I can do it. I'll take one tomorrow." And what do you know? He gets one tomorrow. That being tonight.
My defensive engineer of the game is a guy who is defensive engineer of the game quite frequently. 17 saves in the first period. That was huge. I mean, if nothing else, that's what won RPI this game, is because Brown had the complete dominance in the first 15 minutes of this game, and Jason Kasdorf kept this team alive long enough to take the first lead of the game and then later on get the lead back in the second period because he was playing so well. He wasn't called on very frequently in the second period.
No, just two.
He only had two shots that he faced. He only saved one of them. But once again, come up big in the second period, or in the third period. 15 saves on 16 shots. That's 33 saves for number 33, Jason Kasdorf. This team would be struggling without him, to say the least, this season. I saw him on alongtheboards.com. .com or .net?
I'm not sure.
One of the two. Well, Along the Boards, a hockey website that has a feature on college hockey. They went through the MVPs of every team, and Jason Kasdorf was the MVP for the Engineers, and that should come as really no surprise to anyone who's been following this team really the last 4 seasons, that Jason Kasdorf has been and continues to be a big part of this team's success. So with that said, 33 saves on 35 shots. Jason Kasdorf, my defensive engineer of the game.
Yeah, fantastic effort for Kasdorf. It's really the recipe for success for RPI. Maybe not the save total, but when he gets them. He got them early when they needed them. To keep the game close. Although Brown did score, as you mentioned, the 17 stops, he kept RPI within striking distance, allowed his teammates to then go on the attack. They had a big second period, took a lead, and really, maintained it throughout. Brown did come back and get that power play goal to make it a 1-goal game. But RPI led for down the stretch when they needed to, and while they weren't able to get a put-away goal, if you will, they're able to hold on for a big game 1 win.
Well, that should just about do it for us here from the Fieldhouse. Before we get out of here, just a couple of thank yous and a few notices for you. I want to thank DJ Scooter back at the station for getting us out on the air this evening and keeping us out there. I want to thank Jeff Morris for playing Bob Seeger there at the end of the game. That made my evening even more than RPI winning, to be quite honest with you. Sorry, just geeking out there over the Seeger. We also want to make sure that you are well aware that our next WRPI Sports broadcast is tomorrow night here from Houston Fieldhouse, as these same two teams, the 6th-seeded RPI Engineers and the 11th-seeded Brown Bears, do battle in Game 2 of their best-of-3 ECAC first-round series. Puck drop for tomorrow night's game will be at 7 p.m., so expect an on-air time for WRPI at 6:45. We'd also like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. And you can pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as long as WRPI is broadcasting. We provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. WRPI Sports seeking current RPI students to make live calls of RPI athletic events, such as this one. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for RPI baseball. For more information or to express interest, contact us at WRPI-sports@rpi.edu. So for Perry Lascaris, my name is Tom Reel. Final score from Houston Fieldhouse here in Game 1 of the ECAC first round series between RPI and Brown. The Engineers take a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series. They win by a score of 3-2. You've been listening to Engineers Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.